Boom. We're live.
Roasted.
We're live.
Boom roasted.
Yep. Boom roasted. Okay.
I washed my hair.
I know what you guys are thinking, and you're probably thinking, wow, the lighting looks amazing. And it's because we got another ring light.
We bought a $25 ring light.
$20 ring light.
Oh, $20. Sorry, I thought it was 25.
Nope, 20. At least I thought it was 20. Maybe it was 25. I don't know.
Can we take a moment to like appreciate that foot lash? Did my eyeshadow today? Don't look crusty?
I got a haircut.
Yeah, and you got a haircut.
Oh.
That's the only time it's ever going to make like that good slapping noise because it's really cut in the back. I like your cut. Can I do it one more time?
If you want a divorce, yeah. Do not hit me. Stop it. I'm trying to take a drink.
As if I shave my head bald and you don't slap my head once, I'll be furious.
That's different. I get this every other week. If
yeah,
you
but
shave
I never
your head
do
bald,
it.
I'm gonna do it.
But
of course,
your
I'm gonna
head
do
hasn't
it.
been this bald on the back.
No, that's true. They took one of those like the little
Buzzers.
wire like brushes things, and they
Buzz the
feels
shit.
weird. Yeah, it feels. I mean, I like it.
It's
just
like
it's
when
been
you
a while.
shave your pubes for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, dang, these underwear are really comfortable.
And
Or-
then 2 days later, you're like itchy as crap.
You're like, these underwear are
that.
not very comfortable.
Screw that.
But we got a good lineup today, guys. We got a good
Episode
lineup.
number 4. So we did this 4 times? It's been
4
a month.
weeks in a
4
row.
weeks in a row.
4 weeks in a row.
Hell yeah.
We've nailed it.
We got to figure out a way that we can do this, like whenever I'm gone or maybe you're gone. The once every 6 years that you are gone.
What do you mean? Gone. Oh,
So
like
that
if
we
I go
can-
somewhere
no,
else?
Well, if one of us goes somewhere where we cannot do this,
Oh, and then the other one does it by themselves? Or
no,
the other
well,
one person
the
calls
other
in?
one have to like call in, or we'd have to do it over like FaceTime
Oh.
or some other way.
No, we'll just record one of the other persons going, that's interesting. Wow. Can't believe that person did that thing in that particular moment. You remember on The Office when they did that?
Yeah.
They're getting all the sound bites
That person got him or herself into trouble, or what did
into
what
such
did-
a predicament.
what did Darren say? Darren said something. Daryl.
Daryl. Not Daryl.
Darren?
It's Darryl.
Daryl.
Daryl.
It's been a while since we
Oh
watched The
my
Office.
gosh.
We subscribed to Peacock and we haven't watched it. We watched like 3 times.
Because it's so hard to get on Peacock. The
Well, they
Peacock
don't
thing
have it on
doesn't have
our-
on our TV.
No, they don't have it on our TV. Like, cause we have a Samsung smart.
We have a
TV,
smart
and-
TV, and it doesn't allow us to have Peacock. We can
A
watch actual cocks on the TV, but we can't watch Peacock. Hold on.
Yeah. Speaking of, yeah. Really? Is that mine? Did I leave it there?
You left your bra on the door. What an ass.
Oh no! All right.
But we got some good stuff on the agenda for today. Hopefully,
Yeah.
everybody enjoys the enjoyable content that we are about to put into the universe.
So here we go already.
It happens every time.
One thing I think Jackson, he brought it up. If anybody else that watches this, if you think it's a good idea as well, just put it down in the comments or write it here on stream if you're on during the stream. But would you like us to, like, say like an hour or 2 before the stream actually starts, put up the topics that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, we actually need to start doing that on our YouTube. Well, on your YouTube. Whenever you post a video, we got to put like in the description like what we covered. Because people can search for that stuff then. Know what I'm saying? No, that's
Yeah.
better.
Well, keep looking over here and on the thing it looks like.
This is better. It looks like we have
Yeah.
like wandering eye syndrome. But no, we got to start doing that on our description so people can like actually search that and it'll show up and say when.
Yeah.
Look how cute our room is.
It's pretty good looking, dear. You did a good job.
We're like actual adults, but like room does not show that. Not at all. The smoke detector right there, that's the only thing showing that we're adults in this room. I don't even know if there's batteries in there.
Anyway.
We both had to think about it.
On to our next topic. Let's start with the DMX's funeral.
Yes.
We'll start with that.
Oh my gosh, if you guys have not seen DMX's
I'm sure
funeral.
they have. I don't think there's anybody alive.
Well, I
that
didn't
has
see
not
anybody
seen it.
else share DMX's funeral except for a mortician that I follow. I'm like obsessed with morticians. I would definitely be a mortician.
You have to I remember we looked into it, and you have to do like 2 years of
Medical school?
I thought it was like the internship, but there's another word for it.
Yeah, it's like, well, you have to like go to mortician school, and you actually have to go through like a medical school type thing, like where you're working on dead bodies, like to learn how to like do reconstructive work from time to time. And then I think you have to like assist somebody for so long.
Yeah.
But I would definitely be a fucking mortician. I would fuck that shit up. Not like in a bad way, but I would like get in there. I'm like,
You can't say that whenever you're a mortician, just like you can't say bomb whenever you're on a plane. You
yeah,
can say, fuck it.
Listen, there's a mortician from our hometown that I've also told everybody never send me there because for some reason he knows my name. He's approached me at bars back home, and he has this vibe that he looks at everybody in our town's like parts for way too long after they die. I don't know, can't deal with it, so I'm just gonna be tossed into a hole. Don't send me anywhere. Toss me in a hole. Anyways, back to it.
Yeah,
DMX's funeral. If I didn't want to be thrown to a hole, I would do this. Like, hold on, we have it here somewhere. You have to pull it up for me on the screen.
Yeah, this right here. This is just a picture.
Yeah, that's just the picture.
Hold on. I'm gonna have to pull it up on the interwebs.
I have a picture of his beautiful casket being displayed, and then also is what is it called when they follow you? Procession. The procession that followed afterwards. Pretty fire. Yeah, this is the video. You have to switch screens. Can you see it?
I'm doing it. Give me a second.
I don't know how this stuff works.
There you go. Here we go. How's that? I got a couple things going here. Break.
All right, there we go. This is like everybody on all the motorcycles. Okay, here it comes. This is fucking crazy.
Something new. Stop. Drop. Shut them down. Open up shop.
You actually may have turned the sound off.
Oh, no. That's how rough
He went past already.
Yeah, but that was him on the
Monster truck.
monster truck.
Like, did he put that in his will where he was like, yo, when I die. Just like the words DMX.
That was pretty bad.
I'm on one. To be thrown on the back of a fucking monster truck. I don't know. That was insane. That was awesome. 10 out of 10 for a funeral. I'm just jealous that I didn't get to go.
You know, that it is, well, not that it should be, but I'm actually kind of surprised that it wasn't as, like, televised, I guess. Or, like, talked about as much.
In our age, like our age demographic, yes, it was talked about a lot. Like a lot of my friends talked about it.
Yeah.
But considering our parents or younger than us, they don't give a shit. Like our parents thought he was like fucking crazy.
That is true, yeah.
And a lot of people, like there were people like shitting on him. Like they were like, well, he hated homosexuals. I'm like, listen, DMX was like from a very impoverished area from what I understand, and like in that time and age, like when he put that song out, being homosexual was not like a okay thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if you're gonna talk shit on DMX. I hope you're sure as hell coming for your peepaw, pappy, your grandparents that are like super homophobic.
Oh.
You love them that much, but you're like, listen, he put out one song where he was like,
I'm
ragging.
sure there are plenty more songs, though. We
Listen,
only know the hits, so.
Listen, I'm LGBTQ friendly. I got 2 kids. I never know where they're gonna go. So I'm just like, listen, kids, because I'm white, married a white guy, and straight. This doesn't mean I can't love you well. You're like, April, listen, you're going on a tangent. I'm trying not to go on a tangent like we did with the trans getting your genitalia checked.
Oh,
I went on a long tangent about that because I'm still mad about that. There's other states that are doing that, by the way. They're trying to implement that law. Isn't that crazy?
weird.
Wild. But no, shout out to DMX's funeral planner.
Crazy to think that he's dead.
I know, right?
There's a lot of people that are like that, though. There's a lot of people that are dying.
It's just sad that
This is what it's like getting old.
yeah. Listen, you have to emotionally prepare yourself for when Betty White dies. Betty White still is not dead.
That is true. Is she not dead?
No. People are comparing the Queen's husband that just died.
Yeah.
He's the same age as Betty White, or he was. And so people were like, I guess, calling him out for like being racist and just having like very closed-minded views. And people were like, Betty White fucking exists. They both grew up in the same era. Like,
yeah,
what
but
the
they
fuck?
grew up in two different worlds, though. You know.
Yeah, but still, like, they both had the same.
Like age is definitely, as I'm sure.
Age has a lot to do with it, but I mean, Betty White was.
Age has some stuff to do with it, but it's not. There's so many different types of people that.
Betty White was underprivileged, and he was like rich and had all the education he could afford. So it's like. I found out some cool shit about Betty White the other day, that she had a TV show and she had a black man on there, I guess. And they said, you can't do that. You can't have this guy on here. People aren't going to watch it, blah, blah, blah. She goes, I don't give a fuck. It's my show. And then they shut her show down because she wasn't willing to negotiate. She was like, I don't negotiate with terrorists.
That's obviously terrible. I mean, that's
shout out to Betty White. That's a good one. Betty White and Mr. Rogers.
Well, I say obviously now, but then it probably
was a big
so obvious,
deal.
Yeah.
It was a big fucking deal. But these are good allies. These are good people. I'd take a bus for Betty White. I'd jump in front of it.
Oh, I thought that was a Rosa Parks reference.
No,
because you said you take a bus.
No.
I thought you were. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought you were coming up with something
with
there.
it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, it's a shame he's gone. How old was he? You said 50?
No.
Hey, Jackson's here. Rob Rib.
I cannot remember how old DMX was. He wasn't that old.
Flibbity flib. You like that? You like my rhyming?
Oh, we're tossing. Oh, he was only 50.
How old's Eminem? Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers, whatever the fuck his name is. He's up there too. He's like 40.
48.
45. Yeah.
He's 48. Still looks good though.
Yeah, well, the money will do that for you.
Snoop Dogg's 49. Dre is 56. 50 Cent is 45. 50 Cent's almost 50. No, it's 50.
He's almost 50. Hilarious.
I don't know why. So funny. Oh my gosh. We're almost the same age as Drake.
How old's Drake?
34.
That's weird.
Remembers Degrassi.
I never watched that show.
No, nobody remembers Degrassi. We were tossing out names for the podcast because we still don't have one, and we don't want to make it something stupid and regret it and change it later. So we've kind of left it just the podcast, and I don't want it to be called the podcast because there's probably so many podcasts called the podcast.
I know, but I don't want to rush a name. You know, the name's gonna be the name.
But we
tossed
out. I tossed out his old gamer tag.
My current gamer tag.
Well, his current gamer tag is
so it stinks like a dog fart.
Is Oli, Old Dirty Oli.
Yeah, OHLEY.
And so I was saying we should name the podcast Oli Moly. Like holy moly.
I mean, I like it.
I thought that was a good one because I don't think anybody else would have that. Oli Moly.
No.
OHLEY. Moly.
MOLEY.
Yeah, I'm pretty moly.
Oh my god.
So you're Oli and I'm moly. Eeny meeny Oli moly. All right. Okay, I'm done with the dumb jokes.
We'll put it on the back burner for now, and then
we'll decide.
We'll like let it sit for a little bit.
Let it simmer.
See how it is. Yeah.
I hate that this on the screen.
I'm sorry, dear.
I am on the left side, but in reality, I'm actually sitting on the right side. and I don't like this. It's like freaking me out. My face does not look
Well,
the
I
same
can
as my
get rid
face.
of this. I can get rid of the. Can I? Or maybe I can't.
It's fine. Just I like it when it's flipped the other way.
Anything else you want to talk about DMX's funeral?
No, nothing else about
Before-
DMX funeral. It was just kind of like one of those like quick things I wanted to like hit, and then it kind of got off topic like usual.
Yeah. Well, I don't know much about the funeral. I mean, it was kind of quick. It kind of happened fast.
Yeah, I think that's why they did it. They
And,
did it pretty.
He came out in that monster truck. That's pretty
He
crazy.
like died, and then 2 days later was his funeral,
You
which
know-
I mean is pretty common, but
Monster trucks aren't that popular anymore.
not
You
unless
don't
you're
really
in our
hear
household.
stuff about it. No, it's not even here. Like
Love monsters.
Gravedigger was pretty big back in the day. I remember Gravedigger, and then the Bigfoot truck. It
I
just had Bigfoot
remember-
on the side.
Them being televised, and you would have to pay pay-per-view to
Yeah.
watch the monster trucks.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that. That was
Yeah,
wild.
but yeah, the monster trucks aren't popular anymore, or at least not to my knowledge. I'm sure. I'm not saying that nobody likes them. I mean, I like them. Kids will like them if they see them. But I wonder why. People don't market that shit.
It's bad for the environment. Speaking of bad for the environment, whoever the scientists are that are in charge of dealing with our ozone layer put out something the other day that was like
All the ozonologists.
ozoologist. We're like, listen, we need to make families limit the amount of pets in their house because they're putting too much gas into the air, which is affecting our atmosphere and like ruining our ozone layer. And I'm like, ma'am and or
Yep.
sir, they, them, there are so many other contributing factors than 2 to 3 pets in a home. And like, let's say that there's like a small percentage of people that do animal rescue and or collect animals as in hoarding or something. They're not the big burners here. Like
No.
cars and factories and, oil drilling, all this shit. Like there's so many other things happening in the world right now. I mean, Texas still doesn't have a proper power grid. And we're fucking
This is
talking about
true.
our dog farts are fucking up the atmosphere. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of
Limit my
here.
dogs. Let's put a limit on how many children people can have.
Put a limit on your face.
I
How about
wish.
that?
I need to do something about my face. One eyebrow is
Your
higher.
face is beautiful.
Look at
Will
this
you stop
eyebrow.
it?
No,
So?
no. Like, look at them. One's higher than the other one. It's not because I drew them on wrong. It's because this one naturally is lower than this one. Yeah.
An eyebrowectomy.
Forehead rate.
Oh, it is. Now that you pointed it out, now I can't unsee it. Look
It's
here.
always been like that.
It's never been like that.
No, it's always been
I've
like
seen
that.
your eyebrows for 16
Sometimes
years.
you didn't know
by
I
the
had
way.
freckles until year 5 of us together.
Yeah, it's because you always wear makeup.
Anyways, but no, it's because I keep them natural now, and usually I'll like overfill one, like this one. I'll overfill it so it matches, but it looks stupid. Stop doing it. And I was like, fuck it. I just have a droopy. They say it's because you sleep on one side. Did you ever notice that? Like this side of my face is droopy, like it's like this. I have like more of a wrinkle, and then on this side I don't have that. It's because this is the side I sleep on. This side I don't, so it's not getting edged. You ever hear that?
Nope.
That's how you figure that out. So check your face.
Mm-hmm. Also, like going back to what I said, 16 years. We
Oh
we
yeah.
pulled the calendar off
And
for
I'd
this
written
month,
it down.
and we wrote it down. And tomorrow,
These are 16
year
years of being
dating.
together.
Like we started dating
16 years ago.
tomorrow, 16 years ago.
Hey,
crap.
Dad, look at me. Think back and talk to me. Did I grow up according to your plan? Simple Plan was very popular around that time. So,
Yeah. It was like Simple Plan and
Blink 182.
Blink 182.
Evanescence. I went on an Evanescence
You
tangent
did go
today.
on Evanescence ever since, like, as soon as we seen that, you started listening to like
I
all
listened
the
to
old
like
music.
every Evanescence song ever. Listen, if you have not listened to Freak on a Leash, Porn, and Evanescence,
Pretty good.
grave injustice has happened in your life. Know about it. Also, one time we went to a concert and Evanescence played, and following that, Korn played, and instead of segueing with that song so they could both sing it together and then Korn play, nothing. They didn't do it. And I was fucking pissed. I was livid. That was the time I ended up in the pit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was too young to go to the concert by myself. My mother wouldn't let me. So my mom said she would rent a van for all of me, me, and like 4 of our friends to go. And so we went to, it was Family Values. I don't think that doesn't even exist anymore.
I'm not sure.
And the lineup was like Flyleaf, Evanescence, and Korn were like the big ones we want to see. But while we were walking in, there was a band from Sweden. I don't even remember what they were called anymore. I forget. But they were really fucking cool. And like we stopped for a second, listened to them. I was like, man, they really rock. I like them. My mom was like, yeah, they're all right.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're listening to Evanescence, just having a good time. My mom had to go to the bathroom. And then she didn't come back. And I got scared because my mom is just a very small white lady and doesn't make the best decisions with people to talk to. So I started to like walk to the bathroom to find her, and all of a sudden she called me, and I'm like, are you okay? And she goes, I'm fine, just come here. I need you to meet me by this stand right now. It's kind of important. And so I'm like walking. I'm like 16, 17. And I saw the band, the Swedish band that was like really fucking cool. And I was like, oh my God, there they are. But I gotta go make sure my mom's okay. And so I made like a mental note of it, and I kept walking, and I hear, hey, April! And I turn, and my mother's standing with the fucking band. Like, she's standing there, like, right in the middle of these fucking dudes in platform fucking boots with, like, braided dreads, and they're just like, I was like, oh my God. So, like, Walker was like, hi, and my mom's like, isn't she cute? I told you she was cute. She really likes you guys. And I was like, you guys are like 30, like 16. I'm sorry. So then the one guy was like, I think he like asked mom if she wanted to go drink or something, and she's like, no. She's like, I'm good. She's like, do you want to go with him? I'm like, no. And then they were like, do you want to go into the pit for Korn? I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, if you come right now. I was like, okay. And so they literally took us down to the pit for Korn, and then I had to leave you with everybody else and couldn't like go get you because it was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm sorry, I carpe diem that bitch. And I went. And it was like such a cool experience because we were like right up there, and I could like see them sweating. And then Korn played right towards the end, Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I want to see your hands in the motherfucking air. And everybody's like, I'm like going. I'm like, yeah. And my mom's like, this is a fun time, huh? She had like khakis on and a brown flower shirt.
Yeah.
There's all these like goth kids.
Yep, they didn't fit in.
That was a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for the Amy track. Put that on there for a good one for her. She hates that story, by the way.
Why?
She hates when I tell that story. She gets so embarrassed. She was like, I wasn't that bad. I wasn't that weird. And I was like, yeah, it was. It'd be like a nun going to a Metallica concert. Be like, why?
I don't know about that one. That might be a little too much.
No. It was weird. That was a fun one, though. What else we got there?
All right, we're going to jump into my topic. The one I wanted to talk about.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
It's not on the board.
It is.
Which one is it?
Top one, weirdo.
Oh.
So I love
Bless.
listening to conspiracy theories. I don't necessarily believe in most of them, but they are interesting to watch. But recently with aliens.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Aliens, ladies and gentlemen. So
he gets on aliens, and I can't.
You don't have to.
Can't handle it. Can't handle the aliens.
You don't have to handle the aliens.
It's probably all the ancient aliens
I watch a lot of ancient aliens. But, so, what was that? There's a bill or something
passed where, like, they had to release all the information on unidentified, like...
flying objects.
Yeah, UFOs.
So, I forget what the bill was, and I forget the timeline that they had. I know it's coming up here in a little bit, but I wanted to show this video because aliens.
Bears.
It's Bears, Battlestar Galactica.
Nope. All right.
All right, here we go.
That's totally a real UFO.
Well, this is not.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Just a few days ago, the Pentagon
Fucking hate
confirmed
this
that a
guy.
2019 video of a UFO sighting is actually real. It was a UFO. The video shows a pyramid-shaped object flying over a U.S. Navy destroyer. This is the very first time the public has seen video from this incident. The UFO footage was leaked to a filmmaker called Jeremy Corbell, who joins us tonight to explain all of this. Jeremy, thanks so much.
That guy
for
looks
coming
nervous
on.
as fuck. Like,
He
he's
does.
like,
Tell us
oh
where
shit,
this
I
was
never thought
shot.
anybody would call me on this.
what
But I
are
have
we
to take
looking
the
at?
interview
Yeah.
because I don't want to be discredited.
Yeah, so I obtained
Yeah.
and released videos and photographic evidence of UFOs swarming our warships. So the green video is night vision. That's from the USS Russell. It wasn't just one pyramid-shaped craft. It was multiple. These were swarms. I also released with my mentor in journalism, George
Listen,
Knapp,
until somebody like
also
literally
released
shows me an
from the USS
alien
Omaha,
and not just
which
something
looks like
flying,
thermal
I'm not
imagery.
gonna.
He released 3 photos
not
the
gonna
day
believe
prior
it.
to mine. So we're
I see
we're trying to
Disney
get this
do
out
some wild things
to
with drones.
continue
Just saying.
elevating the
yeah.
conversation.
I'm saying if Disney can make things
Well,
look
this
crazy.
is just this one video.
Yeah.
You
This is
think? I
one
mean, those are not
specific
weather
thing.
balloons.
But this is like
Those are
actual
clearly
government
autonomous
officials
aircraft of some kind that are, as
saying
you
that
put it,
UFOs are real.
swarming
They
U.S.
have-
military.
Listen, I mean, if people
craft.
can live on Earth,
So
then I
those
definitely
are-
believe
there
there
are
is
two
like some sort of
options.
life
Object
force out there.
control.
But there's probably a reason why they're not
nicely
fucking
focused
with
on that.
us.
Control,
It's
and
kind of like the
flying
weird
with
kid in school that
impunity,
like
Tucker,
eats
within our
glue and kind of
airspace,
smells like cat pee.
and, they can outmaneuver,
People avoid
outperform,
him for a reason. Like these
anything
aliens
that
are
we
like, I
seem
don't
to
want to
have.
fuck with
Their
these
mode of
people. They're fucking
transportation
crazy.
is,
And so
seems
they
magical
like
to us.
are
It's
trying their
unbelievable.
damnedest
And
not
now
to actually
finally we're
interact with
having a
us.
rational,
Unless you're my
sober
father. My father was
discussion
apparently
about this
abducted by
because
aliens.
We don't know.
They put a
what
chip
these
in his
are. We
tooth.
don't know the
Alright.
nature of the technology. We need to find out who's operating them and also what the
Might be
intent
aliens,
is.
Bob.
So it's a really exciting time to be learning about UFOs because now we're having a complete tipping point with the transparency, and hopefully we'll be getting more answers soon.
This must have scared the crap out of the U.S. military. I mean, their job is to defend the country and themselves, and here these aircraft violate their airspace. Quickly, do you believe that they sincerely don't know what these things are and
they
where
don't.
they came
We
from?
have the best.
I
we
hope
have the
there are
best
aliens watching
military
this
on
right now.
planet Earth,
Hope
the
aliens
greatest
watch this
intelligence
like
agencies.
Tucker
These are
Carlson or whatever his
true
name is
unknowns,
video,
and they were
and they're like,
swarming
look at these stupid
our,
assholes. Like
you
they're
know,
just like fucking like,
military
Yeah.
vessels. They're seen
like
over
Conehead.
nuclear facilities. This is documented.
So yeah, and I wish I would have looked up that the bill that was passed, or I forget. What
It's
the
been
heck
out
it
for a while. A
was.
lot of people have
I
seen
know.
the bill.
I'm excited to see what they have to say though about their findings and stuff like that. Yeah, going back to like Area 51, that was a huge thing back.
remember when
in the
everybody
day.
was storming Area 51?
Oh yeah, that's
they said
right.
they were going to
Nothing ever
storm it,
happened. Yeah,
and nothing ever happened because the government was like, listen, if you motherfuckers show up here, we're gonna
They'll shoot-
fucking
yeah,
kill
they're-
you.
You're gonna
Like,
die.
they'd be like, I'm gonna go storm like.
The Capitol.
No. Well, only one person got
Only-
shot.
Yeah, and it was
Only one fucking person got shot. Nobody. Listen, people are gonna storm Area 51 now. They're gonna be like, listen, the Capitol. Like, obviously, they're not gonna do shit.
No, they're not gonna do. I do remember that storming Area 51. I was
Don't
pretty
listen.
excited about
Don't
that.
storm Area 51, guys. Like,
Nah, do
there's
it.
actual like legit
it.
military there,
Do
and
it.
they're gonna have like big fucking machines.
Do
It
it.
seems like a good idea.
It's a great idea. You should do it.
Listen, you're a tall fuck.
Not me.
They'll kill
but
you.
You should
You're
do
a
it.
tall fuck. They'll
No,
kill
I'm
you.
not going. I'm not dumb, but they should.
No, I'm not.
Not you. Them. They should. So, the alien conspiracy theory, where if aliens are real or not, obviously, it depends on what you consider an alien. But in my opinion, they had to be out there somewhere. And whether or not they visited us.
And they don't want to fucking
don't know
sit
for
with us.
sure.
They want nothing to do with us.
How do you know?
Listen, I'm pretty sure they just like fly over every once in a while to
You
just
know
see
nothing's
if
on
the
us, though.
planet's on fire. They're just like, listen, we got to look at this dumpster fire. Or they're laughing at like the lack of intelligence that we have, like when it comes to like technology and or like military. They're just like, look at these fucking idiots. They're like, listen, we've accidentally dropped ships here, and they still haven't used that technology to further their planet. You know what I
Well, it's
mean?
not like it comes with an owner's manual, dear.
Figure it out somehow.
Yeah, it takes a long time to figure that stuff out.
What was that shit they said the aliens built the fucking pyramids?
Yeah,
Shut the hell up. It's us.
they did. Maybe they did.
No. No, not how it worked.
Oh, okay.
The aliens did not build the pyramid.
Okay, moving on to the next conspiracy theory. Last one. I only picked two.
This is
time.
another alien.
No, not
Okay.
alien stuff. I've talked to you about this as well. Simulation theory.
Oh,
Do
this
you
is
know what
all
that is?
simulation?
Yeah, the whole this
Listen,
is all
that's-
simulation.
It's not a simulation. It's actually a mental health issue. That
What?
It's called dehumanization. It's where you don't think you're real and you don't think everybody else is real and that everything is fake.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually learned about this when I was on that medicine because that was a side effect of it, is dehumanization. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? So I Googled it. It's basically that. It's like where you think that what you see is not what you see and everybody else is fake, and that at the end of it, we're all like nothing and everything's fake. Like this is
Yeah.
not what it's supposed to be. And I didn't realize I did that, but I did that when I was like a child till the time I was like 13.
Mm-hmm.
I continuously freaked myself out over
Yeah.
that. But yeah, but no, this is all simulation. There's a pretty popular gaming kid, I think, that actually killed himself because of that. He had that where he thought everything was simulation and he killed himself. Thought it wasn't real.
I guess he found out for sure
That it is not a
whether it is or is not a simulation.
yeah.
Or is this one of those things where you die in the game, you die in real life, where this is the game, and if you die in the game, you'll die in your real life?
I don't know. There are some glitches in the Matrix. I've had too much deja vu in my life. I know too much.
Do you know too much?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. My spidey senses tingle a lot. I know shit before it's gonna happen.
One of the reasons why I brought this up is because I remember I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast, which I'm sure you love. I know. God
Joe
forbid.
Rogan
God
is...
forbid I break up something that you don't like. Holy cow.
Listen. I don't... It's... Some stuff I agree with him on. I really do.
You're missing.
But
Please don't. Let me just finish my sentence at least. But they said that if you take if you would take the Bible, like a digital version of the Bible, then like Control F, find and replace the word God and replace it with the programmer, it's like a pretty trippy. Obviously, you have to like fiddle with a couple other actual names, but it's pretty trippy to like think of creation in that aspect as like somebody's programming it rather than creating it. Yeah. I want to do that one day, or at least see parts of the Bible in that aspect. That'd be interesting. All right, now you can go.
Remember I told you my mom threw in my Kurt Cobain journal book because she said it was the devil?
Yeah.
If she ever found out that you Control F'd God /
I didn't
Jesus
do it. I
with
said
the
that
creator and then you
I
read
want
it,
to do it.
she would lose her goddamn mind.
I don't think she would, dear. I truly
think
don't
she
think
would.
she would.
She would.
No.
Very upset.
I truly don't think she would.
Me, I don't care. I'm like, whatever. I just get... Not all the time.
Why?
I've listened to his podcast, and you know I agree with a lot of like stuff that he does say.
Anytime
but
I say
there's
that
some,
his
but
name,
there's
you like get upset for no reason.
because I can say the same thing like 2 or 3 weeks before he said it in a podcast to like you or like other, and everyone's like, "That's so stupid, shut up." And then Joe Rogan says, they're like, "Joe Rogan said." Like people are doing that with like the whole vaccine shit. Like people that like thought Joe Rogan was like trash, like Joe Rogan's shit.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden Joe Rogan's like, "Don't get the vaccine. You don't need the vaccine. Nobody needs the vaccine. Don't get it." And they're like, "Joe Rogan."
Wait,
He
did Joe Rogan
understands
say
me.
that, or did the person he have on say
No,
that?
Joe Rogan said that. He said that if you are 21 or like in your 20s, he said don't go get the vaccine. He's like, there's
Well,
no
that's
reason.
because the people that were affecting were children and older people that was having
Well, it's
the
like
issues.
elderly, but they're want
Mhm.
everybody to get vaccine. The reason for the vaccine, like before people are like, "April, you're so stupid," all this other crap. Everybody wants to get to the herd immunity.
Yeah.
And the way to get to herd immunity is everybody has to have there has to be 60 to 70% of the population that is immune to whatever virus there is. And so by getting vaccinated, you're getting the immunity. And that's what everybody's trying to do, is just so less people will die. If you look at the whole thing that's happening in India currently, where it like they were good and then all of a sudden there's like a fucking COVID wall. I think that's what they're calling it, the wall.
Yeah, just like the wall of ice that's surrounding the Earth that's flat.
Yes, the flat Earth.
Just kidding.
It's dumb. But that's what we're trying to not happen again. But they're saying because of this whole thing in India that there might be like another strain of COVID that we weren't prepared for because of everybody. Like it's just so bad there right now.
Yeah.
But this is coming from me, a person who is actually missing some vaccines. I have not had the chickenpox shot, and I've never had the shot for whooping cough. Don't come for me. Family history. My sister had the pertussis part of a DPT shot when she was born, my older sister, and she actually had a reaction to it and went into a coma after a brain swell, and she almost died. And my parents were told for genetic reasons not to have it done to me, so I never had those 2 shots, but my children have, and they're completely fine. I just don't go near livestock or Amish people. When I'm sick, I stay home, and I want to die there. So there's that. You don't want to get vaccinated, like that's your business. But if you keep preaching herd immunity and that we need to get there, well, this is a way to get there. Hashtag just saying. Okay, I'll be off on that rant for a little bit. I mean, over that rant for a little bit. Can we please talk about Scott Peterson? There you go. I think the name.
Scott Peterson. This is this was a case from a long, long time ago. I remember hearing about this. Yeah, whenever I was a kid. So this, I guess, from what we watched the other day, we did watch that little documentary thing.
General idea.
So Scott Peterson.
We did like a recap to like make our brains feel better about it because it's so long.
So he's being accused, or he
was found guilty.
He was found guilty of killing his wife and unborn child, and he got the death sentence.
Yes.
For it, which,
understandable.
But
then it got overturned.
Yeah, apparently recently it got overturned because of some technicality with the jurors that they picked.
It was like jurors that they picked, and
I forgot to bring up my fucking simulation theory one. I don't care anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. We talked about the simulation. Oh, you didn't bring up. I didn't know you had a link for it. You should.
I forgot.
Because I would have reminded. But it got overturned, so now it's life in prison.
I know it's CNN.
Take that with a grain of salt. This was just for like pictures and like a brief recap.
For like presentation views. Okay, so death sentence overturned by the California Supreme Court. So California.
By the way, before like I forget, do you see his blonde hair? See his blonde hair? Yeah. That was after he dyed his hair to try to get away, like to run away.
Yep.
Schmuck.
So I'm gonna read this part real quick, just so you have an understanding of why they overturned the death sentence.
Oh, it was in 2002. We weren't like kids then.
I felt like
we were like young,
kid, but
it's all right.
So the High Court found that the trial itself was fair and the murder convictions stand. In an automatic appeal, which was first filed with the Supreme Court in 2012, the court found that potential jurors were dismissed erroneously, in part because they expressed general objections to the death penalty on a questionnaire. While the court may dismiss a prospective juror as unqualified to sit on a capital case, if the juror's views on capital punishment would substantially impair his or her ability to follow the law, a juror may not be dismissed merely because he or she has expressed opposition to the death penalty as a general matter, the opinion states. Nothing in the questionnaires showed that the dismissed jurors would have been unable to vote for the death penalty if the circumstances warranted, the justices said. The death sentence must be reversed and the people given another opportunity to seek that penalty before a properly selected jury, if they so choose.
All right.
So that is why it got overturned, because of the way that they picked the jurors.
Well, now they're talking about doing a retrial, and this is like a big fucking deal. Like if you're younger and you don't understand how like court cases work, I am like a court connoisseur. This is all I do, watch and listen to.
You watch Judge Judy. You're not
no,
a court
I
connoisseur.
watch Judge Judy, but I actually watch live trials just for no fucking reason. Like, I watch like the murder mysteries.
Yeah.
I will actually go find the court videos for it and I'll watch them. Because I want to make sure that it's right sometimes, not all the time. And yes, I like fucking Judge Judy. Leave me the hell alone. She's like a bitch that tells other people to shut the fuck up when she's talking. I love that. But also, sometimes she's wrong. Anyways, when it comes to having a retrial. He was found guilty. So that means he is in jail or in prison.
Yeah.
If he has a retrial and they say that there isn't enough evidence to find him guilty or not guilty, like it's a mistrial, he could potentially get out on bond. And like that's wild to think about because he already tried to run right before they got him, like right before he was arrested before this first trial. So if they have a mistrial, he could get out on bond potentially. And then there's the other worse of these two things is that he is found not guilty. And if you are found not guilty and like, let's say like 6 months after this trial, they find evidence, even 10 years down the line, they find more evidence to prove that he did do it, even though he was found not guilty, they can't try him again because that's called double jeopardy. He will be getting away with murder. That's just how it works. And it's fucking wild to me because it shouldn't be like that. If they find more evidence, you should be able to be found guilty. Regardless of the time. It's like whenever they put a statute of limitation on like sexual assault cases and stuff, there isn't a statute of limitation in murder cases. In case you didn't know that, there isn't. Know that. But if you don't know about the Scott and Lacey Peterson thing, basically she went missing Christmas Eve. She was pregnant. I think she was like 6 or 7 months pregnant at the time.
She was really close.
She was close.
Yeah.
And he said that morning he left and he went to go golfing, but then it was raining or something happened. Like it was too cold.
I thought he went to go fishing.
No, he said he was going to go golfing first. And then he said it was too cold to go golfing. So then he went to his job, like where he worked. And in there, he had a boat that he didn't tell Lacey that he bought, his wife. And he didn't tell anybody in the family that he had bought this like small boat. And he had it hidden there in like a storage room at the office.
Yeah.
And so he decided he was going to go boating that day in December. And everybody said it was like the worst time to go boating or fishing.
Yeah, fishing, not boating. But
and so he was
also December is also probably a terrible time to go boating as well. Where did they live? They lived in...
I don't remember where they were from.
I think I vaguely remember them saying that they were... The state that they were in, I was like, boating in December? I thought the water would be freezing by then. Frozen. Not freezing, but frozen.
I'm looking at it. Perry.
Was it Florida? No, they found he was on the West Coast somewhere. Because they said that they found them in San Diego or something like that.
San Diego, California. It says Scott Peterson was born there. Where the fuck were they from? Damn it. All right, I'm not going to spend time looking at it. Anyways, but everybody said that was weird that she didn't know about this boat and that he went out. Well, then he was out for a couple hours, like hours out there. And they were supposed to have Christmas Eve dinner with like her family. And they had stuff that they had to get done. So he got home, pulled in, and their dog was outside with a leash on it. And he was like, oh, well, let's go see where Lacey is. Goes inside. She's not there. Her car's there. He decides to eat a slice of fucking pizza and a glass of milk, takes his clothes off that he had on, put them into the washer, and then just hangs out. And then, like, a couple hours later, he calls his mother-in-law. He's like, I can't find Lacey. And she's like, what do you mean you can't find her? He goes, I don't know where she is. She's like, did you call the police? He's like, no. She's like, did you go look for her? He's like, no. So then segue into, like, they had a televised thing a couple days later where, like, the parents are like, we're looking for Lacey. Lacey, please come home. If you have Lacey, please bring her home. And they're, like, crying. They pan over to this fucking Scott Madouche. And he's like, well, we don't actually know if Lacey's still alive or with us. So, like, we can't just say that. It's like, whoa, like, your wife's pregnant with your kid. Like, even if you don't give a shit about your wife, like, she's pregnant with your child, like, your DNA. That's fucked. And then while they were looking into that, apparently Scott Peterson had a fucking girlfriend
on the side
with a kid, which he didn't have a kid with her. She had a kid. And then right before Christmas in December, he comes to her and is like, listen, I've been lying to you this whole time. I'm actually married, and I just didn't want to tell you, or I was married once before, and I didn't want to tell you, but this is a really hard month for me. That's why I've been weird, because she died last year before Christmas. And so she was like, oh, wow. Well, his girlfriend came forward and told them, I didn't know that this is who he was, and my friends have seen him on the news, and I want to call you and tell you what I know. So she tells the police this, and they're like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck? So then they start looking into him, find his boat, and then find that there's evidence of, like, missing
Anchors.
Anchors.
Like homemade anchors.
Like, yeah, there was a bunch of missing anchors. I think they said like 4 to 6 anchors. They were missing from the boat. And then they put a tracking device on his car, and every day he was driving out to where they were searching for her body, or like where they thought her body might be. And that's ended up being where her body washed up later. Her body washed up on shore, and it was like missing limbs, which is terrible.
Yeah.
They ended up finding her there, and they went to go arrest him. And this motherfucker tried to bleach his hair blonde. It turned bright orange, and they found him at a fucking country club, like close to like Mexico or some shit. Like they were scared he was gonna like jump the border and like go to Mexico. And he's like, "No, guys, listen. I dyed my hair because the paparazzi were following me. Everybody thinks I'm guilty." Well, if he went out and looked for her, he didn't even like go look for her. He just like hung out at home and like went and kept having sex with this other girl. And apparently he had multiple affairs at the time. But there's more than that. That's just like the general overview. There wasn't a lot. It was all circumstantial evidence that he was in there, but it's so much circumstantial evidence that it's like, listen, guy. Listen. Like, if you found one of our dogs outside with a leash on it still,
I'd be like,
and like there's nobody in the house, you'd be losing your fucking shit, right?
a little bit, yeah.
You wouldn't go inside, get a piece of pizza and a glass of milk, and sit down and be like, I guess I'll call her mom in like 2 or 3 hours. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, it's wild. And you would not have just thrown, like, he comes home disgusting sometimes. Like, his stuff stinks. Like, you'll smell like gas, or like you'll have dirt and mud on you. And he just like throws his boots on the floor and like puts his whatever clothes he wore like in the laundry room on the floor. And he's like, well, she knows how to clean it better than I do, so like we'll get to it. But like he literally just threw the clothes that he had on in, and there was like dirty towels on top of the washer.
We're talking about him now, not me.
Yeah, not him. We're talking about Scott Peterson. But he just threw the clothes he had on in and washed them, and didn't grab like the laundry that was dirty on top of the dryer to put in. It was like a bunch of dirty towels. And they were like, why would you just wash those? You've never done that. I've never done that. I've never just personally washed something that I needed unless it was like something important for something. Like a dress shirt, and I wanted to make sure that it dried not wrinkly. And then they found pliers with a hair in it that matched hers, but they couldn't match the DNA because it didn't have a thing.
That's like a bullshit one, though. Like,
you can say that, but I told you how I felt about it.
I did.
They found pliers on his boat that had a hair in it, a long black hair that was, what's the word? It matched her hair. It didn't have they couldn't test the DNA because it didn't have the follicle in the end, the root. But they took a piece of her hair and they matched it, and they said it matched.
How the hell do you match a piece of hair with another piece of hair without the DNA?
Because your hair has like, you can tell like the colors and how they look. Microscope. You have to see it to understand it. It's like, it would be like how they can match animal fur. Like if you were in somebody's house and you didn't live there, but you gave them the clothes you wore that day, and they found one of their dog's hairs on you.
You like pinched my nipple there.
Oh, sorry. I was like, but they would match it not from DNA because they wouldn't have a follicle because dogs shed. It would be because they looked at it under a microscope and compared them. But that's what they did. Anyways, that's what they did. Keep in mind, he's only had this boat for a little bit of time. Lacey doesn't fucking know about this boat. So what he's trying to say is like, her hair could have just been there from the house, and like he brought the pliers from the house. You don't know where it came from. But he would have had to take those pliers from his home, put them into his car, take it out of the car, walk to the boat, throw it into the boat, and the hair would have had to stay there the whole time. That's like, there was only one hair. Just one fucking hair. That's wild to think about. It would make sense if he was like using the pliers, like if it had like a sharp edge on it to like cut something while he was tying her up and it got caught there. It would make sense. It'd be one hair that he missed. I don't know. Given it's a lot of circumstantial evidence, but if it was just one thing, if it was just the hair, okay. Or if it was like he just didn't tell her about the boat, that'd be one thing. But it's like the boat, the hair, the dog, the clothes, the girlfriend, telling the girlfriend that she died before Christmas, the going out to like where they found her body eventually multiple times, the dyeing the hair, saying that, you know, he's trying to hide. He admitted he was trying to hide. Whether he admits it was from the police or the paparazzis, it doesn't fucking matter, or the news.
Oh, a little bit of both, you know.
He was trying to hide, and you can't do that when your wife has been missing. I hope she haunts his ass. That's fucked. That's so fucked. And then they try to blame it on Satanists because around that time, that was like a big thing. Like late 90s, early 2000s, everybody blamed everything on Satanists.
A Satanist there.
There were those kids. It was called the
Westboro Baptist Church?
No, West. I forget what it was called. They're out of jail now. They're out of prison. It was these teenagers that got accused of raping and killing these 2 boys in the woods. Yeah, they found like these 2 boys raped and killed in the woods, and they accused these kids that were like goth kids that listened to like satanic music. It wasn't like they were satanic. They just liked being goth. And the whole town accused them of it. They arrested them, put them on trial. There was nothing linking them back to each other except the police coerced this kid that was like mentally incompetent to say that they did it, they told me, and I used to hang out with them. And they had like nothing to do with each other. And these kids, these teenagers, stayed in prison until they were like 30.
Terrible.
Like half of their life, over half of their life was there. But then there was other evidence saying that maybe one of the dads did it. Because one of the little boys had a pocket knife that the parents had given him. And he never went anywhere without that pocket knife, ever. He took it with him every day, even to school, like he hid it. When he died, the mother found the pocket knife in the attic in her husband's toolbox. And she's like, my son would have never went into the woods by himself without his pocket knife. And like that's kind of like a thing like kids are like love their bikes, and like that would have been something that he would have kept with him. Because I remember my dad gave me a pocket knife. I fucking took that bitch everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I was obsessed with that thing. My mom had to take it away from me because I literally would just take it to the grocery store. Like I didn't fucking give a shit. That was mine. But yeah, I don't think they ever like solved that either. They blamed those kids. The kids got out. They like sued.
Yeah.
But there was like a ton of famous people that were like backing for those guys. Remember I went to that stand-up comedy show?
Nope.
He was doing it. So was Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp was pushing for him as well. Easy. Why can I not think of this name? It's gonna bug me. Figure it out because that was like a wild case, and everybody should look into that because that's another case on like very limited circumstantial evidence that was like fabricated.
How would you go about ensuring that stuff doesn't happen like that? How do you ensure that
West Memphis 3. That's what it's called.
Memphis 3.
The Devil's Knot.
Devil's Knot.
I'll have you
Satan's
watch
Knot.
some of those with me. You remember how we talked about the whole defund the police? You remember, like, we talked about that and, like, how people were like, you just don't want the police. No, it's supposed to be something to, like, get your attention so you understand what people are talking about.
Okay.
Like, we said how there should be, like, how when you're a doctor, you're not just a doctor. There are some doctors that are just specialized in certain things.
Yeah.
Same with, like, in the military. There are certain jobs. You're not just a soldier. You do this, this, and this. Like, you have specialized jobs and opportunities. So I think that's how it should be with the police. It shouldn't just be drug force and SWAT. Like that's basically like there are specialized spots in police force and like crime work, but there needs to be more. I don't know how to say this the right way. You can't just be like crime task force. You go do this and then you deal with this, and there needs to be like more mental health awareness. There needs to be better education on things. You shouldn't just be able to go from being a police officer to shadowing into the crime sanction of it. Like special forces, crime, whatever the shit. You know what I'm talking about. Like they call people, they're like, oh, this is our crime division when it comes to like murders.
Okay.
You shouldn't, what they do is like they shadow those guys and then they get into it. It shouldn't be like that. It should be a long-term thing, like more schooling Like, to become a police officer, you have to do so much for so long to become a police officer. It's not that many hours. You need more hours to become a barber than to be a police officer. I shit you not, if you Google it right now. You have to shadow more hours to be a barber than to be a police officer. That's wild.
I'm sure there's so much more behind it than that, though.
There is. But a lot of, like, back in, like, the late 90s, well, even early 90s, like 90s through the early 2000s, it was so many older people in towns, like small towns, were so worried about Satanists and, like, goth kids. Like, anything bad that happened, that's what it was blamed on. Mm-hmm. And it was just a fear. It was like a fear thing. It's like fear tactic. It's like, well, we don't know what to blame it on. There's some weird kids that hang out. You know what I mean? It's just like, fuck. Like, that was so sad for people that, like, got blamed for shit like that. I mean, you know, that happened, like, with my friend group, like, where popular kids felt some type of way about, like, the goth kids at the school, and then
that's high school, though. That's such, like, shallow.
But that's what happened with
crap.
this. It was like the parents started it, and then kids started tacking onto it. It was like, I heard that he sacrificed a baby to Satan, and then the town went with it. And that's what happened with, like, my friends. Like, the popular kids made, like, a hit list online and then told the cops that we were going to blow up the school, like my friends, and, like, I was associated with it. Yeah. So the cops came and had to question everybody.
Hell yeah.
And then some of my friends weren't even allowed to take their backpacks to their lockers anymore. They had to keep their backpacks in the office, and they had to go through them every day like they were in jail. And then,
is that legal? Is that a legal thing to do?
No, it's not. But our town didn't give a fuck because our town was like, they're fucking weirdos. And then somebody told my grandfather, and my grandfather and I were like best friends. I'm pretty sure it was like one of my cousins. He said it was one of his friends, but I'm pretty sure it's one of my uncles / cousins that was like, April wears black crosses. Do you know why she does that? Because she's a Satanist. And her friends said they were going to blow up the school.
Hail Satan.
But no, I was just like a weird fucking kid. I was just a weird kid that wore black all the time, was like goth, grunge, and fucking weird and emo. And it was like people were targeted because of that. Like, it was really scary there for a while. But it's just like, that's so sad.
I know, like, whenever I hear about those things, I can't
We think it's ridiculous.
I don't know even what to say about that.
Like, are there bad people in the world that do
course.
those things? Yes. Most of the time, it's not children. Like, you need to worry about some of the adults, like, in your general vicinity before you need to start worrying about, like, kids killing other kids.
It happens, though.
It happens. I don't know.
People like to make things like black and white. Very few things in life are black and white. There's so much, like, so many things to consider, and it's not that easy. And that's what people tend to do. They tend to, like, reduce things to, like, it's good to simplify things enough to make them simple, but to, like, oversimplify them, you miss a lot of, like, important facts, like context. It's all about context in a lot of things, and it's just really annoying. And whenever I hear about, like, these specific cases that nobody's ever really going to hear about, it's really annoying because there's nothing we can do about it.
No.
Very little that I as an individual can do about it besides, like, saying don't do that.
Yeah,
you know?
It's just really sad. It's like very disheartening. It's like, it's very overwhelming to think about, like, something that.
Sorry, I'm kicking the desk. Made the camera go.
Something.
Sorry.
Like, those kids lost so much of their life.
Yeah.
Like, they went into jail or, like, prison when they were still so young. Like, they were in general population, I believe.
Yeah. Well, and then also, like, they went in so young and they get out so late, and that's a huge. That's like
Culture shock.
Well, please let me finish my sentences.
1994 was when this happened.
But they missed, like, their golden years.
Yeah.
And how do you repay them for that? How do you like, assuming they didn't do it, or how do you repay them or anybody in that situation, not this one specific?
Even suing, like, the state or, like, the government that was like,
no,
that's not going to help. That's not going to give that time back.
And
like, one of the guys had just had a kid before he got in. Like, he was a teenage dad. He was a teen dad. And, like, when he got out, like, you lost that time.
Yep.
And that's so terrible. And it's like, I get that everybody was
potential.
trying to do the right thing. Like, they wanted to make sure that these people were caught and quick.
Yeah.
But it was like so much fabrication was done. Like, I'm not even doing this, like, story justice. I'd have to go back and like remember a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, the case was so insane. There was so much circumstantial evidence, and the stuff that they said, it was wild.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was like, this doesn't fucking make sense. This was just like, cops didn't want to do like their job at that time, and the whole town was just so scared that they were like, if we just put it on somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and if we say it was Satanists, then the other kids in our town won't want to be
Satanists
Satanists.
are easy. Also, it's an easy target, you know.
I know, which is
Especially like, I'm sure it's a smaller town too, and smaller towns generally
our town.
are generally like, you know, more like Christian
They're
values.
scared of that shit.
Yeah, they get scared. I don't know why. I don't know why Christians get so scared of Satan. It's like I don't know. It's like the boogeyman. You know, like
It's-
Lord Voldemort. You know. Oh, I said his name. Oh,
What
shit.
is what is the word? What is a Wiccan? It's like Wiccan or
It's
like
like pagan.
pagan. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I can't think right now. I'm getting like right here, my head's starting to hurt, and I'm just like trying to like not pay attention to it. Paganism. A lot of paganism and Christianity have a lot in common.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of Christians or Catholic people even like to make that generalization. Like, they don't want to be like, well, paganism has this, and we also, you know, this in our things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
in Christian, like Catholic religion, we light candles for certain reasons, for like certain things, and we do the whole, I'm not, and I say we, I'm just using not Catholic or here. The whole, you know, you drink the wine and that's the blood of Christ, and you eat the wafer or the bread and that's the body. That is a what's it called?
More of a ritual.
Yeah,
than
a
it is like
ritual.
a fact.
That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's like
it's
a ritual.
Obviously not the blood
It's
of
something you
of
do,
Christ, and he's not actually the.
but you do that
Yeah.
to cleanse yourself. Like, and I don't understand why they don't see the correlation.
Maybe they should take a shower. Dooch.
So like, our kids said to people that we know that are like religious that, you know, what if when you die you are reincarnated into like a tree? She's like, wouldn't that be cool? Like, if you just become a tree, like,
Yeah.
you don't know what's going to happen, but that would be really wild to just be like the earth. And, you know, some people got really upset with that. They're like, that's not how that
Yeah.
happens. That's not what it's supposed to do. You just go to heaven. You go to be with Jesus. She was like,
But yeah, let's bring it back. Bring it
Okay.
back. We can get into religion. I definitely don't mind.
No.
But let's bring it back to the.
so what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's just like such a fear of something that you don't understand,
Mhm.
but you also do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just
It's
like,
I don't know if this is the right term for it, but it's an unconscious bias.
mm-hmm.
Maybe I think I'm using that right. I don't know.
I think possibly.
But yeah, but how do you like get that out of the system, you know? I don't want to, I'm going to say another word because the system is such a stupid way of saying it. It's like saying the government, you know. That's a really, really stupid way of looking at it. But how do you get that unconscious bias out of the decision-making process for convicting people of crimes, especially crimes where people are going to be put away for a long time?
Yeah.
And if they are wrong, if they are sentenced and later found out to be
Not guilty.
should the people that convicted them, should there be repercussions?
There should be, I believe. Like, especially if it's something like this, the West Memphis 3,
Yeah.
it definitely should be consequences against the people that literally drug them through that. Like,
Yeah.
even the fake
But
testimony
what
that was
people,
given.
though? You know, is it the judge? Well, I don't think it's the judge because the judge
No,
probably
it's
is
the
just
people that
making
put
the decision.
together the case. It would have to
Yeah.
be.
Is it the lawyer that went up against them?
It would have to be, well, regardless, like, the lawyer, there has to be two sides. It has to be the people that gave false testimony.
Okay. Well, no. See, that's the thing though, is that with the testimony, like them people giving, like, it's the people that went up against those three,
Mm-hmm.
and they sat down and like under
Like
oath,
the state.
you know, under oath, the people that gave their perspective, you know, their perspective may be theirs, it may be incorrect, but that's what they believe.
Mm.
But that doesn't mean.
Well, in this case, there were people that were bold-faced, like lying, that were just making up
Yeah.
stories just so it went with that narrative.
Mhm.
And the cops were pushing for that. Like, the
Yeah.
cops in that town were pushing for
So
it.
the cops. So do you think maybe the if it comes back showing that they were actually innocent, do you think the cops should be put in jail then?
I think the cops should be tried
fired
for that.
or something to that extent.
Because at that point in time, it was so much shitty workmanship that was done. It was just like,
that's something.
We just want to get it done. Like, we just want it over.
If it's as bad as you say it was, then that obviously sounds like complete laziness and neglect and gross negligence on the police officer's side.
And they should be tried. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And then it makes you think, because this hasn't ever been solved, the boys dying.
Yeah.
Just the teenagers that got accused of it, they have been acquitted. But it makes you wonder, why were some of the townspeople and some of the police force pushing so hardly for a fake narrative unless they were involved and didn't want it to be pointed back at them? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would a cop or the police that were involved push so hard for teenagers, even though they're like weird, but there was so much circumstantial evidence that they couldn't get evidence against them, so they had to fabricate it somehow. So it's like, why did they push that hard? Were they involved? Did they know something that they shouldn't have known? It's just like, that's like a wild, like, that's like a conspiracy theory to like to fucking think about, is like, why would they push that hard?
I mean, it was, I don't know why. I don't know why, but like, I try to like be empathetic and like put yourself in their shoes. You know, maybe it was just, I don't know. In my opinion, they were easy. It was easy target, and people don't like not knowing. It seems like people would rather make the wrong decision than.
They'd rather blame anybody than that, which is terrible. It's so sad.
That's such a generalized statement too. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people who were like, no, that's not right. Maybe take a look at this.
Well, one of the moms of the boys later admitted she didn't believe that they did it. She was like, I don't think they did it.
See, and if she comes out and says that, she should be like in trouble for not speaking up and putting her 2 cents out there.
Well, that was later, after she found like the pocket knife and stuff like that. Like, she did speak up, I believe, eventually.
Oh, later. Oh,
like,
yeah,
I believe eventually she did. Not like
I think
recently.
meant like from the beginning. She was like, she didn't say anything and.
I touched the table.
Stop
that was
kicking
my
the
fault.
desk.
I put my foot up because my leg started to hurt.
You know what kind of asshole kicks desks here?
I'm just trying
that kind.
I'm like.
Hey, yeah, you know I did.
He did.
You know I am.
Did I take the picture?
It was the one. If you look at it, it's the one with whenever I grew up my.
Oh yeah, I took
beard.
those pictures. You're welcome.
I know it's not a good one. Like, you can't. It's not the beard isn't as thick in that one, but I love that beard though.
Welcome.
But yeah, I kind of changed all my stuff around today.
He was having a good old time.
I was having I kind of like updated it a little bit, just a little bit.
Grease there for.
Yeah. Well,
no,
serious topics.
These are important cases to like talk about. There's a lot of cases like that. I like talking about those like unsolved things, or like I was talking to you about the plane crash that happened in like the Andes Mountain with the
rugby players.
The rugby players, and they were stuck out there for almost 3 months, and nobody found them, and they were like survivors, and they eventually had to like resort to cannibalism to like save themselves. They had to they didn't eat live people; they ate some of the people that died in the wreckage. Yeah. And then eventually I think it was 1 or 2 of them walked out. They told everybody what happened, and then they went and saved them all. But everybody was so happy that they were alive, but then they were instantly like
ridiculed,
demonizing them because they ate people. And it's like, y'all motherfuckers didn't find us for 3 months. What the fuck do you want me to do?
I know, right? Just, eat my hopes and dreams.
There were no animals out there. Where they were, there was nothing, they said. It was so crazy.
Yeah.
There's even like pictures and stuff from like the crash.
I'd eat someone if I had to. I don't know. I wouldn't enjoy it.
No, nobody would enjoy it. You would do it because you had to, not because you fucking wanted to. And it'd be different. I could imagine demonizing them if they were out there like murdering each other for food. You know?
If it wasn't like, because the human body can go for like 30 days without food and like 2 weeks, 2 weeks without water. But I mean, at the end of the 30 days, you're in pretty bad shape anyway. I know it's like it degrades pretty fast, but
the butt.
Well, actually,
what part would you eat? The butt.
Before we get to that, because I do want to comment on that. Okay. I have a thing on that, but obviously 3 months, that's more than enough reasonable time that they would have to resort to that. I definitely am not I wouldn't blame them for doing anything like that.
I wouldn't blame anybody for that.
But to go back to that question, what part would you eat? April likes eating. Yeah, she does. I was actually told.
God.
Jesus, man. Not told. I was not told. I read this like article one time. It was about how this dude like killed people, then cut them up, and then like made food out. This is old, like a while ago too, like way before like forensic science and stuff like that. That this guy like he'd cut up people and like he'd make food out of them, and he gave the
They can eat.
people say they could eat a person, but do you generally think you would be able to cross the moral line of the, at the time came? Yeah, I think I would. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't. It would take a lot. It would have to be like life or death.
Yeah, if it came to my
But
children,
I think if it came down to it, I really think I would.
I think if we were stranded somewhere with
but
our
it's
kids,
easy to say that with a full stomach, you know.
well, like you know how there was that guy that was stuck under the boulder, like he went hiking and he got stuck under the boulder, like his arm got caught, and then he was stuck there for like so long that he eventually was like, "Fuck it," and he cut his arm off. Like that's where you would have to be mentally. Like right now, we can say that, oh yeah, I do it, and like giggle about it. But when you come down to that, we all have primal instinct.
Yeah.
And it is to feed yourself and live.
Yeah.
That is like,
To
that
live,
is
yeah.
your primal instinct is
Yeah.
to live, and you will do anything to do so. And if it came down to it, like as a mother, if it was me or my children, I would cut off my arm to feed my child if I had to.
Oh yeah, that's a different aspect.
Dead ass.
You know, definitely.
Especially but getting to like that, like you're stranded in the middle of fucking nowhere with your friends, and you're slowly watching your friends die.
That's
And
an
like
awful
one of
experience.
you
That's gotta
has
be an
to
awful experience.
one of you has to make that decision and be like, okay, I'll go first and I'm gonna do it. And you guys have to if you want to live and make it through this, because basically at that point they were making a conscious decision to either live or die.
Yeah.
Like they were like, we're not getting out of here, we need to figure this out. And it like that they took 30 days of not eating or something like that. It was a long period of time where they did not eat. They just ate the snow and hoped for the best. I mean, they didn't even have like heat. So they were.
So S.O. Brian Games, thank you for the question, man. Thanks for joining.
A good one.
That is a good one. I mean,
I would never murder somebody to eat.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I would never kill somebody to eat them. But if it came down to like they're dead people and I have to make that decision.
Okay, well, like think of it like this: like, say we're like in the woods and it's like we're like 2 weeks into not eating. And we're obviously in bad shape, and it's like me and one other person. You know, we would have to have that conversation. You know, it's assuming we're like in like an Arctic environment where there's no food.
If I die, you eat me. If you die, do I have permission to eat you?
Well, permission. There's no permission. You eat the other person.
Well, you
you
eat
gotta
them.
survive.
But I would definitely be like if it was you and me, and we were stranded somewhere, and like neither one of us could eat, and there was no food, no animals, no nothing, and it was like I was getting sick or something. I'd be like, listen, you can eat me when I die.
Yeah.
I'd be like, just fucking do it.
Do you have the conversation? Okay, here's a good one. Say it's just you and one other person, or it's just two people. Okay, there's two people.
It's two people.
Alone.
Okay.
No food, like in the Arctic.
Kosher.
And you don't know where you're at. You're like 2 weeks in. Do you start having conversations about like, you know, should like we kill each other, or should we like somebody kill themselves so the other one can survive, or do we just kind of wait it out and then maybe we might both die? No. So what does this guy say? If you listen to the primal instinct in such critical situations, what separates you from an animal? Whoa, I can. Before I finish reading that, you're an animal.
We are.
You're an animal. There's no way around it. We're a little bit more advanced than most other animals.
Now, before you take that, when it comes to people, we do have a mindset where we do know right and wrong. Yeah. Wholeheartedly, we know right and wrong. You know, we know that it's wrong to kill another person. We know that it's wrong to like rape or harm somebody. Those things are factual things in our head. Yeah. But when it comes down to a survival situation, you are legitimately an animal. There is a fight or flight mechanism in your head. You are either going to fight your way out of it, or you're going to cower and die.
You're gonna die. Yeah.
That is something. If you look in any research for anything, it's documented. that people have a fight or flight mechanism, and that is how we are built as animals.
Okay, so he continues on and says, "We are supposed to be the most intelligent beings. Don't you think we should be held to a higher standard when assessing those critical situations?" Joe, I don't think Joe's appropriate here.
No,
yet.
not yet.
But no, you're right. Yes, we are more intelligent, and that's why we don't instantly resort to violence and death and cannibalism. That's
it's enough to survive.
It's we can be critical, we can be intelligent up to a certain point, up until the point between like life and death, because just because you're intelligent doesn't mean you don't. How can I say this? This is a very tough situation, like very tough topic to talk about. Or to think about. Well, it's easy to think about whenever you're like in a house, and you have food, and your stomach's full, and you have food in the fridge and stuff. But
well, it's kind of like how how there's those stories of like somebody had a pet dog and they died in their house with the dog, and nobody found them for a really long time, and the dog started to starve, and then towards the end, the dog ate the person because the person was dead. It's like back to it, an animal. That dog loved the shit out of you and would have died for you. But at the end, the dog had to eat, and it had to do what it had to do to survive. And that's how it is with people. I think that if it's not my place to judge when it comes to that, because I've never been in that situation.
Yeah, that's very true as well.
Your plane crashes, and you're out there for a week. Would I eat somebody? No.
No, not after a week.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
We'd
be getting on the verge of having those conversations.
I'd be getting hungry. Yeah. I'd be getting very hungry, but I'd still be holding out hope that somebody would come to get us.
Yeah.
And then come the third week, when we all know after 30 days of not eating is when you definitely start to deteriorate, and you have to start thinking about those things. And
well, after that second week, you're going to be in pretty bad shape.
Oh yeah,
most likely.
your brain function starts to go down. Your brain will literally start to disintegrate, not disintegrate, but it starts to break down, and so do your muscles. And that's why people eventually end up going to those extremes, is because yes, you're smart, but your brain is literally not functioning at that point. That's why we're all broken back down into animals. Because your brain is telling you that things aren't right and you have to do something. You're not the person who you were at the beginning of this situation. This is like who you were at the beginning, and this is who you are now, and you have to make a drastic decision because your brain literally is not functioning properly.
Yeah, there's that as well. There's your state of, there's your physical brain, needing the nutrients that it does, and then there's also like your mindset.
And if a rescue isn't coming and you have to get out of there, you can't not go and have 30 to 40 days with no food and try to hike out of a mountain range.
Those experiences, I can imagine, are more of a they're just as much of a mind fuck as they are as they are a toll on your body as well.
It's like people stranded at sea. It's like they'll have food sometimes, but they won't have water. And they know they can't drink the water. They've been told 1,000 times, you can't drink salt water. You can't fucking do it. If you do it, you will get so sick, and you'll actually make your dehydration worse. And people are like, I'm just so fucking thirsty, I'm gonna drink it. And then they drink it and they instantly get sick, and they're like, why the fuck did I do that? And then a day later, they're like, I'm so fucking thirsty, I'm just gonna do it again. And it's a continuous thing. There's so many people that have been saved from being stranded at sea that have actually done that.
Yeah.
So that's also,
and like I keep saying, this is easy to say because we're in a pretty cushy area.
We're in a cushy place, and I'm wearing my Sherpa sweater, and I'm drinking my gallon of water.
Yeah.
We're just schmucks on the internet.
There's some schmucks.
There's some schmucks on the internet.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool.
Yeah, but to go back to your original thing, that's so for the people that didn't hear before, so she's referring back to this rugby team that was on a plane. The plane crashed in an Arctic. Yeah.
It crashed into the Andes.
In the Andes? Oh, sorry. I did say Arctic, didn't I? I didn't mean to say Arctic.
Crashed into the Andes mountain.
Yeah. And they had to survive for 40 days, you said?
No, it was 3 months. 3
months?
Yeah, it was almost 3 months. It was wild. It was such I've watched so many documentaries on it, which is really sad to say that I've done that.
Yeah.
But I've watched where they're telling the story, where other people are telling the stories, and where their families are telling the story of like how this all happened. And there's like pictures, like they found a camera while they were there and they took a picture of them while they were out there. Yeah. Because they were just like,
Goodness.
we didn't know what else to do with ourselves.
Yeah.
Also keep in mind, these people did not have winter gear because they were like from Cuba
Oh,
or
that's
like
right. Yeah,
Spain.
they were. I think you said they were from Cuba.
Yeah.
And they were flying
Over the mountains to
Is
go
it-
somewhere else for the rugby game. Fun
Yeah.
fact, actually, a while ago, they actually they took the plane ride back over and they played the game that they were kids when they were like young adults. Before, like, you remember how they were flying to go play their rugby game?
Mm-hmm.
They missed that game, obviously. So now, as older men, they went and they took the plane ride again and they went there and they played the game against the people.
I would not have gotten on that plane. I'd have been like, I'll drive.
That would have taken a lot. That would have taken a lot.
I would have took a bus or
They
something.
lost. Some people lost their parents because they had to bring their parents
that's
with
super
them.
traumatic.
And some of them lost like their siblings. Like some
Yeah.
of their siblings were on the plane. They lost, members of their rugby team. It's wild.
That's like naming your ship the Titanic and going that same route.
Listen, one time I went
Yeah.
on a cruise and they used to have sorry, I'm turning my heating pack off. I was sitting on a heating pad. We were on a cruise ship and they had a guy that would play piano by the glass elevators, and I was coming down the elevator the one day and he was playing My Heart Will Go On, like the fucking Titanic song, while we're going down, and I'm like beating on the door and I'm like young, and my mom was so fucking embarrassed and so was my stepfather. And I'm like
playing that
I'm like,
song.
no.
Yeah.
No, my parents are like, shut up. And I'm like, you can't play that here. Don't fucking do that. Don't bring that on me, motherfucker. I'm a good swimmer. I'm not that good, though. Can't outswim a shark.
I can float really well. That's about it. I'm an okay. I can never. I always tell people whenever they talk about swimming, I can swim well enough to save myself. I cannot swim well enough to save somebody else.
That's always something that I wanted to learn how to do, just in case, like, our children. I always like have reoccurring nightmares that our children drown. So I think that's the only way I wouldn't be able to save them, is if they were drowning. Because, like, imagine they sink to the bottom. Are you physically capable of swimming the whole way to the bottom of whatever depth it is to grab them and then be able to swim them up to the top?
I can't.
That's like my biggest fear. Like, if they fall down, like, a small cliff, I can climb. I would hurdle my ass down there to get
That'd be
them.
a really dumb idea.
It would be. There are moms that lift cars off of their children because they're like losing their shit.
That adrenaline will get you though.
But I'm just saying,
do
I
great
know
things.
physically that I could not swim to the bottom of whatever it is, an unknown depth. Grab my children. Imagine if both of your children were there.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a movie I watched, which was another
Here we go.
Worst case scenario. It was I think it was like a Chinese movie I watched. There was like tons of subtitles, and it was this mom, and she was in her building, and there was an earthquake or something, and she had 2 babies. 20-foot pool?
I could do a 20-foot pool.
Maybe.
Like, I think a 20-foot pool I could do that, especially since it's a pool. It's pretty.
Maybe. I used to do the brick dive when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I could get a brick. I don't know if I could pull our children out. They're quite bigger than a brick.
Well, if it was a pool, I could do it.
Anyways,
I think so.
so back to this.
20 feet's actually
So
kinda fun,
the
now that I think
building
about it.
crashed.
I don't know.
It was crumbled, and the whole town was leveled.
Mhm.
And so this woman was searching for her children, and the police were there trying to help get everybody out of this rubble. Think of it like 9/11 basically, trying to dig through to get people.
Yeah.
And they had heard people crying, heard babies crying, and underneath they saw that if they moved this rock, that it would kill one baby but save the other one child. And so they were like, we have to make a decision. And so she pulled the baby boy out. And whenever they pulled the rock and they got the boy out, everything crumbled. And she thought her daughter had died. Turns out, plot twist, her daughter didn't die, but she had remembered that. They weren't babies, they're toddlers. The girl remembered that, and she wandered off and was put into an orphanage or something. And the mother had thought she died. Somehow this girl ended up in America or something eventually, and she found her way back home to her biological mother and brother, and she was like, this is me, I didn't die, and you chose that. And the mother took her to the cemetery where she had put a plot out for her daughter, and she had bought her school books, because I guess in China or whatever, you have to buy your child school books every year, college. And she had bought her daughter school books and put them at her plot every time school happened, because she felt so terrible for what she did,
Oh my.
because she had to make that decision. And I'm like,
Good Lord. That's so rough. Oh my God.
As a parent with 2 children, I would never want to make that decision. Kill me.
Yeah.
Like, kill me, let my children live.
Yeah,
I can't.
kill her. Let the children live.
But I couldn't make that decision as a parent. Like, that hurts my heart just to, like,
Yeah.
even slightly think about, like, having to choose, like, one of my children live and one of my children die.
Oh yeah, that's a terrible. Do you remember? Do you remember on Rick and Morty whenever they had that little scene whenever the mother had to choose between Rick and or not Rick but Morty and Summer,
No.
and the mom was like instantly like Summer.
Oh, I do remember that, and he was like,
like really.
my mom would choose me.
That's funny. Which child would you choose? Oh man.
Nope, I will never make that decision.
No, that's a tough one.
I'll kill myself first. If, like, it came down and they're like, listen, your children need kidney transplants, and if they don't get put on the waiting list, like, you have 1 kidney. Because, fun fact, all of us are O negative except for him. So
Good.
I can donate to my
Good.
children, but they can only get O negative. And if they were like, listen, they each need a kidney, I would literally kill myself so my kids could have my kidney.
Take both of my kidneys.
Yep. Take both my kidneys so my kids can live. Take my kids so my kids can live. I would. What is that movie with Will Smith where he does that?
He gets both of his kidneys taken?
No, he kills himself so people can use his organs to live.
Men in Black?
No. No, it was a movie. He literally did. He stung himself with a fucking jellyfish. A positive? I'm trying to think what A positive. That's a popular blood type.
I think I know O's. The O's are always the popular one. O positive, I think.
O negative.
O negative.
O negative is like universal. That's why everybody wants it. I think O positive is very rare. Well,
there's an AB blood type.
AB positive.
7
pounds. Thank you.
Mikoto.
Yes.
What is that? Mikoto coming in with.
Oh
Dave.
yeah.
There it is,
See,
7
you're
pounds.
doing work for me. I was actually gonna Google it real quick.
So it's called 7 pounds.
Yes. So he ends up. I think what happened was he like drunk driving or something, and he killed somebody, and he like felt terror. Oh no, he killed his wife and kid, I think, on accident, like driving. And this is like so vague. I haven't seen this movie in years. And so he finds people that need transplants or something, and like ends up being friends with them or like speaks with them or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to a hotel room. He takes this fucking jellyfish, puts it in the water with him while he's in ice, and it stings him and basically like makes him comatose. He's not gonna die, like live from it. And he calls somebody before he does it and says, I'm an organ donor. These are the people that want to have my organs. Yep.
So he gets stung to death by a jellyfish.
He killed himself with a jellyfish.
Why that? Why a jelly? Why did he just like?
He
shoot
did
himself?
research.
I
He
don't
did
know.
fucking research on it. I don't fucking know. But like, listen,
Like I wouldn't do pills or anything because that might fuck.
it would fuck up your organs. So he had to do something different. If you shoot yourself in the head, your brain's dead, which means your body starts to deteriorate and you can't use those organs. You have to be alive. Like you have to make sure that you're going to die, but you're alive long enough for them to harvest your organs, because you can't be dead, like dead the whole way, and then harvest your organs.
Oh really?
Because there's
Oh,
when you
okay.
die, your organs start to die. They start to decay.
No,
You
your
can't use
organs
them.
start to die.
The only reason I know about some of this stuff is because I got dead people parts inside of me. Not organs, just tissue. That's why I'm so weird. My body's fucking haunted.
Because it wouldn't damage his organs. Okay, yeah.
See? Told you.
I didn't know that. I don't know.
Told
I was
ya.
just like, that's a really dumb thing to do, but I guess not.
was wild. Speaking of movies.
That'd be an awful way to go.
We
Jesus.
got on to this topic today because we were talking about the Gaetz case, the Matt Gaetz, the
We will
representative of Florida.
We will get to that after this.
We will get to it after this.
That's actually a topic
But
we haven't.
Matt Gaetz reminds me of the guy from American Psycho. If you haven't watched American Psycho, go watch the opening scene where it's his get ready with me routine. It's like he's a beauty guru getting ready in the morning.
I really enjoyed that. I'm not gonna lie. I wish
was
I had
satisfying?
I wish
Well-
I had a routine like that. Like, he was so confident into it, and it all
Steve
worked.
Irwin and the Stingray. Fuck that Stingray.
I hope that stingray burns in hell.
I get really sad when I think about that because I cried when Steve Irwin died when I was a kid. I was at my Uncle Danny's house. This is how I fucking remember this. My Uncle Danny I never hung out with him.
Is there anything that you should have let go of a long time ago, but are still holding on to? Oh man, my hairline.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my Christ. Wow.
it's
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty much there, you know. But
That's a deep question. See, he gives like a funny reaction like that.
I mean,
I'm
it's
over
funny
here
'cause
thinking
it's
about
true.
some
That's
serious ass
why.
shit. I have too much serious ass shit that I'm not willing to get into.
Hell yeah. I thought about shaving it today, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Today was like I was like this close to just going bald.
Shaving your head.
I really was, but I didn't. I just got the normal
Haircut. Me too.
haircut.
I thought about shaving my hair. Actually, I didn't. This shit goes past my butt cheeks.
It's
Hands
very
down.
long. Your hair's very long.
Yeah,
Nah,
see,
keep it while you got it. I
See?
know. I've been thinking of. I just got it. I'm just thinking about it.
He
It still
still-
works. I
still looks good.
appreciate that, man.
Lucky
really
for you,
do.
I have a fetish for old people. So, like,
There
the
you
older
go.
you get,
I look-
the more of a lady boner I get.
A
So,
lady
like, we're set.
boners.
We're fucking set. Nailing it. But anyways,
So do you? Okay,
Ama-
I said something.
I'm not willing to get into that sauce.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, his family.
it's been hitting me
gotta-
hard for a while.
No, we still got time. Good. Listen, if I get new boobs, he gets new hair. So
I don't know. See, do I even want to go that route? Do I even want to go and
listen,
like get
it's at least worth trying.
the surgery? Like they take the hairs from one part of my head and put them on that part. You know.
Listen, they're about to re-navigate my nipple from one spot and make a whole new nipple hole. Like, don't even get me started on is it worth it? Yes,
know.
I'm gonna feel better about myself. If it's something that makes you wholeheartedly feel better about yourself afterwards, like if you're gonna feel good about yourself, like I don't get mad at people or I judge people for wanting to get plastic surgery done ever.
No, I don't
because
either.
that's
There's
something
nothing,
that
you
like a
know.
decision that like you made, that it was something that you were wholeheartedly self-conscious about. I'm like self-conscious about, like, I have varicose veins from time to time. I would never get my varicose veins like surgically fixed because it bugs me, but it's not something that's like plagued me my whole life. Like, it has plagued me, but it's not something that I was like, I can't, like, I don't want to go outside like this. My titties, on the other hand, we were just laughing at the viewfinder before we started about how lopsided my boobies are from breastfeeding 2 children. It was like, it's like uneven headlights. Like,
No,
one, it's like
it's not
some are
that
here,
bad.
some are there.
Jesus,
It's
dear.
pretty
It's hardly
bad.
noticeable, and I enjoy your boobs.
You can say
Don't
that. Thank
worry
you.
about them.
Thank you for talking about my boobs.
So.
No, I would wholeheartedly get that done. But I would much rather talk about my nippleectomy.
Nippleectomy.
My nippleectomy.
Done
than
by
talk about
nippleologists, actually.
stuff that I've been holding on for a long time, because I hold on to a lot of shit.
She does. She is.
It's a character flaw.
petty AF.
Not even that I'm petty. I just have to listen. It's not even that I'm petty. I just have to emotionally navigate through the situation at hand.
That's right. You can put that quote on a T-shirt too.
You know
Sell
what
it.
I mean? Like, I have to go through something that like has happened that's like bugged me, and
Yeah.
I have to, like, it takes me a while to like rationalize why I'm doing that and then get to the conclusion of it. It takes me a minute.
All right.
It just takes
That's
me a
fine,
minute.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
I'm heated about something, and then I like give me like 4 to 6 months of like
4 to
lit-
6 months.
literally
oh my
stuff
God.
that like sits with me. I think about it consistently. Like, that's
Yeah.
something I can't. I blame the ADHD, potential autism on that.
potential.
Listen, the more I read into the probability of me having autism, I'm so much autism.
Do you have a dream that you're afraid to achieve? Oh, like aspiration dream, not like sleeping dream. A dream that I'm afraid to achieve. Being a porn star. That can actually be scary sometimes. Some of those porn stars are not very clean. And
You're making a very vague, very, very, very vague thing. If you are a porn star, you actually have a company and you have to get tested consistently. So porn stars are actually cleaner than, you know.
okay, what is I guess like, because of the availability of everybody having a camera these days, what is considered a porn star? Is that somebody that it's hired by another company to have sex?
Porn
Or is
stars
that like
have like a contract.
so a contract?
Yeah, like a
Okay.
lot of the girls like that are like on Pornhub, like people know of them. They go to like what is that called? The Pornhub Awards or whatever it is. Remember they took a Marine to there one time? It was like a porn star took a Marine.
No, they took that army dude.
Yeah, or an army dude,
Yeah,
whatever.
some army dude.
But like they have contracts and they have to actually get testing all the time, like
Yeah.
before they go and like work with somebody. So they have to be willing to get tested all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Well,
with,
my perspective of a porn star was somebody who has a lot of views on porn. Are OnlyFans guys
some
and girls
are.
porn?
Listen, I follow some of them.
That's a good question.
I follow some of them, and I do know the ones that are more popular that do that stuff, that are sex workers and have a very big following on it.
Yeah.
They do get tested before they work with somebody out of just respect, because I would want somebody to do that for me. You know what I mean? Like, God forbid something happened to me and him. If I have like, if I get like a new boyfriend, or like I want to hook up with somebody, dead ass, I'm gonna ask for their like shit.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've been with the same person for years.
OnlyFans comes back on a general background check. What do you mean? Like,
If you, I guess if you look them up, it might show up on a background check.
how would they come up on a background check though? Like,
don't
unless
know.
if you don't have it tied to anything, at least.
I don't know. They're gonna find me on there. I mean, I don't have it anymore, but I had an OnlyFans where I crushed things like watermelons in a swimsuit and cereal boxes.
It was impressive. I'm not gonna lie. That watermelon, and it made a super loud crack.
We talked
whenever
about
you
this
finished-
last time.
Whenever you crushed it, that was crazy.
We talked about this last time on here. I lift, and I lift a lot. Well, I was a while ago.
Yeah,
we were in the
we're
gym.
trying to get back into that much, but
Gyms are still closed by us.
Yeah.
So I got into lifting, and there was this really, really funny point in time.
we do have to answer his question though.
Oh, what?
Well, finish your story. Then we'll
I
go back
said
to it.
OnlyFans girls,
So
boys
are
and guys and girls
OnlyFans
porn stars. Yes, some of them are. I feel like yes.
Why is that? Because by your definition, they have to sign contracts. Did those OnlyFans girls
don't
that
know
you're
if-
referring
well-
to sign contracts?
Well, there are girls that OnlyFans are more popular than most. It's kind of like saying podcasts or like people on Twitch. Is everybody on Twitch famous then?
Hell yeah, we're famous. Look at us.
It's like there's more popular ones than not, and you know of more than you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then there's like this whole question. It's like it's a very vague question, because there's other things when it comes to OnlyFans that are fetish things that a lot of people wouldn't consider them as popular, but they are very popular in underground situations.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, where I was crushing things.
So for me, hell yeah, we're famous.
Put that on a t-shirt. I'm gonna get that tattooed right.
Would you judge someone for having?
Hell no.
Oh no,
Nope.
I would not.
I wouldn't.
You do you, man.
I had
Horrible man.
So back to like the OnlyFans thing. I lift a lot, and it's was getting to the point where like I would post a video of me lifting on like my private like Instagram, and there were guys that would like try to add me, or like the video got shared around somehow, and like people were talking about it. I would do like pull-ups outside, and I would have a swimsuit on because it's like 105 degrees here.
Yeah.
And it was like I would go from like barbecuing with him and like playing in like water to doing my workout, and that got fetishized very quick.
Okay, follow up. Would you let your daughter or son be on OnlyFans? Be an OnlyFans content creator?
I wouldn't even answer that right now, because my children are children.
Listen, like with that, it doesn't matter if we would let them. Once
That's their
they're
decision
18,
when they're 18.
19, 20, they can do whatever they want. Now,
Mhm.
I would hope that they would do it like in a way that doesn't harm them.
No, as long as they're not them, I would rather them tell me.
Yeah.
When I
And
talk,
I want them to do whatever's going to make them happy, to be honest.
I don't care what my
And
kids
if
do.
that's what is going to make them happy, I wouldn't necessarily like enjoy it, I guess. I mean, I
care.
wouldn't watch it obviously because that's
No.
fucking weird.
If my kid's like, "Hey,
Um,
can you
but
help
would-
me edit this?"
I would
No.
support them as much as I could without actually watching them go through and do the content.
Like my mother-in-law and my mother both know that I had put
I kicked the desk again.
crushing content up on OnlyFans, which is fetish. And I told them before anybody else could tell them, because that's where like where people can use it against you later, and I don't like having that. I don't like talking about something and then somebody saying they'll use it against me later. So I straight up told my mother-in-law that like I did it, and I told my mother that I did it, and my mother-in-law was like, "Listen, if you take off and like make a shit ton of money, like you got to make a house payment or like a truck payment for me, like
She
dead
did,
ass,
actually.
like
She
listen,
did.
like none of us care."
Yeah.
Like, our children are children. So, like I said,
Mhm.
I didn't want to personally consider that. But if we're talking about hypothetically,
Oh, somebody did something. What do we got?
somebody did something. We don't know. We heard a noise.
I got a notification, but it says this element is too small to.
But no, if my children are adults, I don't care what my children do as long as they're not harming themselves or other people.
Ah, there it is. Okay, he followed.
Oh, thanks for following.
Thanks for following, man. I do appreciate that.
But no, I love the shit out of my kids. I love them so fucking much that, you know, they murdered somebody and they told me, I'd be like, okay, like, listen,
Well,
that's
a
really
little
fucking
different.
wrong.
That's a little different. We're talking about murder. Like, they can't be doing that.
Did the murderer deserve it?
Yeah, why did you murder them? Is because you're an asshole? Then
Listen,
yeah.
I'm my children's mother, and I will love them no matter what they do.
Yeah.
I know there are moms that say that. They're like, I love my kids no matter what. No, dead ass. I love my kids no matter what. My kids are like cool as fuck, even though they piss me off.
Right now they're cool. Wait until they get to like, you know, teenager years.
They better fucking love the shit out of me. I don't care if they think I'm cool. I just care that, you know, they know I'm their mom and I'm the only one they have. They're my kids and they're the only kids I'm gonna love the shit out of them, so they better love me back hard. Love them. Like, Dean, I was asking him to blow me a kiss today. He was like laying on the bed. Our son was laying on the bed on my hot pack watching the Lorax right here. Raid.
Oh shit.
What?
LOL, you crazy bro. Hey man, what's up?
Raid. Where are we raiding? The Lorax. Yeah, he was watching the Lorax right there. I was in the bathroom doing my hair, and I came out and I blew him a kiss. I went, I love you. And he just looked at me. He was like, stealing my hot back, watching the damn Lorax. And I was like, bro, you better give me an air kiss back. And he was like, and so I went to the bathroom, and while I'm standing in the bathroom doing my hair, I hear him go, I love you. He's such a sour patch.
Yeah, he's something else.
But no. Okay, can we please get back to what I was talking about?
But what?
That Matt Gaetz, the representative of fucking
Oh,
Florida,
we weren't talking about that.
is
Hold
the
on,
guy from
hold on.
American Psycho. No, we were talking about American Psycho.
Oh, we did.
Yes,
You're
we were
right.
talking about American Psycho.
We got down a rabbit hole there.
And
Holy
he's-
cow, did we ever?
Well, because we got questions asked.
Yeah.
He's never seen American Psycho.
I have not.
And I was
Not yet.
saying how Matt Gaetz, his mannerisms remind me of the main character in American Psycho. And he's like, what are you talking about? So I pulled it up and we watched the scene, the Get Ready With Me scene.
He does kind of look like him too.
It's the same fucking mannerisms, like the dead face when he's talking and when he's like excited about something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is scary. So now I'm going to make him watch American Psycho like either tonight or tomorrow because we have to watch American Psycho now. But we figured this out while we were watching the Tucker Carlson interview with Matt Gaetz. Because I don't know if you guys know, I like to talk about this. Matt Gaetz, the representative of Florida, basically is being charged or has allegations with paying minors for sex and sex trafficking.
It's called child sex trafficking.
No,
yes.
well, it's sex trafficking now because he had a 17-year-old cross over to another state to meet him to have sex. That's why it's being considered sex trafficking.
Well, I mean, that's literally the definition of sex trafficking.
But also,
is that
do not forget that Matt Gaetz did not sign. He voted nay on a bill that was supposed to help end sex trafficking.
Nay.
And like even his people,
What I do with all these people trying to get with having sex with kids? What? Yeah, I don't get that shit, man. I don't.
It's weird.
That's actually something that
I think it was not id.
Yeah.
It's wild. I think it has to do with money.
It's always with money. That's always
a lot of people with money. Well, I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to say a lot of people with money take advantage of kids. It's just a really weird situation. But his representatives, when I was reading through articles, were like, well, these minors put their stuff up on the internet and were asking to have sex. I'm like, because a child wants a candy bar at the grocery store doesn't mean you buy it for him either. So
I'm a heterosexual male, but the cum gutters on Christian Bale and American Psycho are mind-boggling.
right?
What is?
His moose knuckle.
Oh,
He's got a big moose knuckle in that. movie.
I've never seen it.
You saw the beginning part where he was doing like
I
the
wasn't
push-ups and the
looking at
yoga.
his penis,
I was
dear.
looking at his penis.
I was not. I'm sorry. I was not looking.
I was just looking
his,
at the
his
bulge.
package.
But it was wild. Oh, so anyways, that's why it's being considered sex trafficking before people are like, there's like all this underground conspiracy and he's like keeping babies in cages. So far, we don't know that. What we
That
do
sounds a
know
little
is that he
ridiculous.
did definitely pay a 17-year-old. Do not send me penis pictures. If you send me penis pictures, I will backtrack every resource that you have to find your mother, your grandmother, your auntie, and your sister, and I will send them the picture of your dick. I've done that. I've sent dick pics people have sent to me to their girlfriends and their mothers. I don't fucking play. Anyways. I'll
Yeah,
send my
why'd
dick
you
pic.
send that to my mom, by the way? That's fucked up.
Fuck up. I sent it to my mom. So that's why it's being considered sex trafficking, because she was 17. He had her come over the border, and he said he just bought her dinner in a hotel room. And I'm like, tell me your privilege and you think you can pay this off without telling me your privilege and think you can pay this off.
Yeah.
But we watched this interview where he had with the host from 19
Okay.
Kids and Counting. Yes.
Wait, hold on. You hear about the host from 19 Kids and Counting getting those child molestation charges? I think his name is Josh Duggar.
Mm-hmm. So Josh
The hell is
Duggar,
19 Kids and Counting?
the people, the Mormon family that had all the kids, the Duggars. It was called the Duggars. If I showed you a picture, you'd know what it is. Here,
Probably.
Google the Duggars and we'll pull it up.
Googling the
Google the Duggars. So the Duggar kid, the guy, the boy that they're talking about, Josh
Yeah.
Duggar, I think is the oldest son. He molested his sisters. Yes, and the parents knew about it and then sent him to Jesus camp or some shit to get him help. Let's not even talk about. It's like now they're finding child porn.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that. That was a long time ago, I think. It feels like a
No,
long time
but
ago.
listen, Josh Duggar, apparently they raided his work. So they have like a family company or whatever. They raided his work, and on his computer they found child porn recently.
Oof.
So it's not just he molested his sisters and like the family kept it quiet. He literally has child porn on his computer. It's go back. It's did you look up Josh Duggar?
I just looked up the
look up
Duggars.
Josh Duggar so I can show you.
How the hell do you get 19 kids? Exactly.
Oh, listen to
How
this
the
shit.
fuck
I'll
do
tell
get
you exactly
19
how you get
kids?
19 kids.
Jesus Christ.
This family's so fucking unhinged. So Jim and was it Jim Bob and whatever his wife's
Jim
name?
Bob and who?
That's him.
Nanny?
That's the one who molested his sisters, I
This
believe.
right here?
Yep. So
I'll bring it up. Give me a second. I'll just make sure that I get him on the right spot first.
yep, that's him. That's the one who molested his sisters and his he had porn, child porn. So, anyways, Jim Bob and his wife, whenever they first started out, she was on birth control, and apparently she had a miscarriage early in her pregnancy, and she literally for the rest of her damn life blamed her having that miscarriage on being on birth control. There was no correlation to it because she wasn't on birth control when she found out she was pregnant. It was like she got off of birth control and then she got pregnant and then she had a miscarriage. And so for the rest of her existence, she told everybody that the birth control killed her baby. There's like documentation of it where she is preaching this at churches to children and their parents and like young women. Guys, that's not how it works. Guess what? Listen, if you go get the Plan B pill, like after you have like sex, if you take it too late and you're already pregnant, it will not abort your baby. It won't abort your baby. Doubling up on your birth control pill is not going to abort a baby.
What if you triple up?
I don't even know if that's even possible.
I don't.
But no, that's what literally the fake shit that she's been preaching. So I can't imagine what these people have been telling their children that is okay and not okay. It's so scary. It's so delusional. Like as a mother, I have a daughter and I have a son. My daughter, I have spoken to her numerous times. She's getting to that point where she's starting to question like what sex is and stuff. And I wholeheartedly talk to her about it. Because I don't want some fucking moron kid telling her.
We
Like,
also don't want the school like video. I don't even know what they have for sex.
like sex
education
ed.
in
Like
school
we
anymore.
we signed her up for sex ed at school because I feel like it's important to be in that room with her peers and hear those conversations. But I also want her to hear what they're going to tell her, so she can come back and tell me, and I can tell her if it's right or wrong. So she gives the kids at school the proper information. Fuck that shit.
This parent should be in fucking jail for knowing about this and not seeking professional help for their kids, and they don't even want justice for the daughter.
Right.
They concealed everything. Fucking scummy.
Right. She even
So-
said in interviews that like once the first kids get older, they start taking care of another baby. They call them their buddy. So they pair an older kid with a younger kid and make that older kid take care of it in the house.
So what happened exactly? So those parents?
So one of the daughters came forward and had said something about it, that like she had been molested by her brother, and it had came out in the news. And they were like, listen, this wasn't an internal problem, and we dealt with it ourselves, and we don't want to press charges. So then the other daughters like came forward and said that it had happened to them too. And they were like, well, he thought that they were sleeping and that they were kidding, and he really didn't force himself on them.
Yeah, those are not excuses.
And so the
Those
girls dropped the
that's terrible.
charges.
What the fuck?
The parents, I assume, made their daughters drop the charges, or like said that they wouldn't press charges. And then now this happened where he had child porn on his computer.
I remember the first time a kid said penis, the whole class was laughing. Hell yeah, the penis
Well, I
game is the
remember,
best game ever.
Sex ed
Should play it every day. I do.
sex ed at our school was like, don't do it. And that's what my mom said. My mom was like, don't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Don't
that-
ever. Don't come for me for birth
that-
control.
That abstinence
It doesn't work.
agenda that people push.
Listen,
Obviously ridiculous.
if you're a kid right now and you were like watching this
Excuse me,
and
dude.
your
Keep
parents
going.
don't talk to you about sex, you need to find an adult that you are comfortable with to talk about this stuff or be educated by. Like, it is so hurtful as a parent to not give your children the proper tools to navigate life. And one of those things is sex and being healthy and safe in the situation. And the more you talk to your child about those things, the more they're going to notice when something is wrong. Like if somebody approaches them inappropriately or touches them inappropriately, like the first time, they're going to be like, that's wrong. Because I know that that's how sex starts, or like I know that this has to correlate with sex or like being sexual. I know that now. And like so many parents not telling them that, that's like why I was like so fucked up for so long. So my mom was like, don't have sex. Don't have sex. I don't want you to have
it's the
sex.
easy answer, but it's not.
Is Josh's sister getting help for this trauma now, or are they still keeping it within the family? From what I know, none of them talk about it.
Well, yeah, blissful ignorance, you know.
Yeah, like from what I understand, none of them talk about it. I know one sister is like now like has done missionary work or something, but then that's been under fire because something weird happened with like the missionary work that they were doing. Like I forget exactly what happened. I watched like a docu-series about it. Don't have sex, you too. And listen, the don't have sex, that's exactly why we got pregnant when we were 18 and 19.
Yep.
Because we didn't know how to get birth control. Because our small town did not have a Planned Parenthood or like a place that you could go to just get birth control.
They must all just be super fucked in the head. That really is. Like
It's so sad.
any situation where you're like your family is the reason why, like, is the reason behind any sort of traumatic event like that. That's such a crappy, event. That's such a crappy situation to be in.
Mm-hmm. When it's your own family, it fucks your head up.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like, and honestly, the girl probably didn't say anything, or like they went to their mother and their mothers kept it, or the mother and father kept it quiet, is because it's fucking embarrassing. That is so fucking embarrassing that somebody in your bloodline took advantage of you like that. Like, that's a lot of reasons why adults that sexually assault people, it'll be somebody close to their family or in their family, because for the person that it happened to, that's fucking embarrassing. Like, to have to say that out loud, that like my dad, my uncle, my grandfather, my cousin, my brother did this to me. It is so hard to physically say those words, that person in my bloodline did that to me. And then people are like, well, that man was inbred. Well, I don't think anybody intentionally wanted that. It's so fucked. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Duggars.
That's a rough situation to be in.
Duggars are
But the
like,
only way to get it, like the only way to
I have to
like,
pee. I'm so
break-
sorry.
go to
I'm
the
like sitting
bathroom.
here like twitching my face off because I
go to
gotta
the
pee.
bathroom. Why are you waiting until
I
you're
don't
like twitching
know,
your
but I
face
was
off? Just
trying
go.
to hold-
But yeah, no, the like, and to get out of that situation, really the best thing to do is talk about it. You gotta talk to somebody about it. Because whenever you start like saying it out loud, you can start figuring out like in your head. You can start like piecing it together, or like laying it out in a way that like that makes sense to you, and that you can explain it better. You just gotta talk that shit out. For the most part. I mean, you're not gonna be able to fix everything like that. Because when you've been betrayed by like a family member, you know, especially somebody that close to you, in such a like an extreme manner as like sexual assault or rape, you know, that's you really can imagine you can't get over that. All right, my turn. Break.
Now you have to pee. I'm like dying now. Hold on. I did be hot, or I was cold. Now I'm hot. I'm getting heated over here talking about this. Getting me wound. But no, if you go to a family member like your mother, like the Duggar daughters did, went to their family and said something, and nobody helps you, go somewhere else. If it's like in that situation, you know, they went to church. They could have told anybody in their church that something was wrong. Yes, I am short, but they could have told anybody else. Would you even consider them family anymore? If someone did that to my kid, they wouldn't be allowed to use my last name anymore. No. Like, I mean, they're not your family after they do wrong to you. Like, I feel like family isn't just blood, but I guess I had to get on my tiptoes. That's a hard one for me to navigate around currently. Because I don't talk to like a lot of my family. Like my family is, I just talk to my mother and that's it. Like no aunts, no cousins, no uncles, no dad's side, nothing. Not even my stepdad's side of the family, not even, you know. So like my family is like this. Like it's just us. It's like us and like my in-laws, and that's about it.
I'm stuck.
You're stuck.
Sorry.
But if that happened to one of my children in like side of my family, God help the piece of shit. God help the piece of shit that would ever harm my child, because
Jackson's like, you're short.
I know.
Would you ever consider them family anymore? If someone did that to my kids, they wouldn't be allowed to use my last name. Yeah, I mean,
I said it's a hard one to navigate
that
around
is,
currently.
That is. So, okay, they'd still be family because they, assuming you're not like married into the family. I mean, it's still like a bloodline thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't consider them. I would never like involve them in any of my things.
No, it's like
ever.
one of those things.
And I would push for them to go to jail.
That's like one of those things where it's just you completely ban that person from your family and your life to better your family and your life, and hope to God that somebody kills them or they die.
Yeah. No. Like for me personally, I would never associate with them again. I would ensure that the only thing that pulls us together is the fact that we have the same last name, assuming that we have the same last name to begin with.
I would judge every person that still spoke to that person wholeheartedly. Like if you're in the family and you still associate with that person after they did that.
Yeah.
No, don't come to my house.
But it would have to be proven.
I feel bad for the parents to have to be put in that situation.
Yeah.
Like the Duggars are a fucked family.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for Jim Bob and whatever his wife's name, I can't remember.
Michelle, I think it said.
No.
I forget.
I feel bad for them to even have to be put in that situation where you literally have to choose, you know, basically all of your children over one of your children. And listen, you have 19 kids. One of them's going to fucking suck. I'm sorry, I got to say it.
Yeah.
Out of 19 children, one of them are going to suck.
One of them's going to be an asshole.
If you think about it, those 19 kids, could have into the universe of souls could have been born into 5 to 10 other families. And out of those 5 to 10 other families, one of those kids would have fucking sucked. So, regardless of who they were raised by, because some people just fucking suck.
Yeah, some people do. Yeah.
Okay, back on topic about
Yeah. Okay. So the
Gaetz.
Gaetz scandal. So
Okay.
what's his name?
Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz.
I want you to pull up the video where he was with the Tucker guy.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson. By the way, I fucking hate this guy, but he did something so
getting some,
fucking
new deep-
funny. Before you get out there, basically, he is making every excuse on why this is not. I want to make sure you get it to the part where he's actually with them, because I don't want that fucking old guy on there.
You don't want to hear about the cervical, vagina, vulva, and anal something or
Shut
other?
up.
Some advertisement? What the hell kind of advertisement?
Whoa, you've got on.
Anyways, Matt Gaetz is like, listen, like this happened to me, but you know, people make up stories all the time, and like you can't listen to every story that you have. But like they have receipts linking this guy back to this fucking like girl. I don't want to deal with this part. I want where it's like the Tucker right up there. All right, hold on. This is such a fucking wild interview. I'm back on.
And Lane law firm. As a matter of fact, one of the recordings that was made at the FBI and Department of Justice request
Y'all hear that? I
occurred
hope
at
so.
that law firm, and the money that was supposed to be paid today that would have shown
Let me try
even
closed
more
captioning.
evidence
That's an awful
of David
closed
McGee's work in this extortion scheme.
Gaetz also
All right. So what he was saying is basically one of the people were what's the word? Were blackmailing him for like $25 million. He was like, they were blackmailing me for $25 million. I didn't. Blah, 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 blah. Listen, bro, it would have been worth the $25 million. Like dead
If he
ass.
didn't do it, no, it wouldn't be worth it.
But they have receipts to it though. Like he didn't. He hoped that they wouldn't find this shit. But like there are Cash App receipts from him to these fucking girls. Like, bro, really? You could have just handed them actual cash.
This is also CNN talking about a conservative.
Yes. So it's
So,
like funny to like listen to
Take
this.
that for what it is.
called on the FBI and DOJ to release any tapes of surveillance involving his father.
I want
If
the part.
The FBI and Department of Justice will release the tapes that they are in possession of. The American people will see what is really going on.
McGee's law firm, Beggs and Lane, released a statement denying the accusations
fucking
against
face.
him.
He looks
The
like the guy from
allegation by the
American Psycho.
congressman
I'll pull
is
it up
both
then, yeah.
false and defamatory. Mr. McGee was the chief United States attorney for the Northern District of Florida 25 years ago. During his tenure with the Department of Justice, his reputation for integrity and
went
ethical
past it already, I'm
conduct
not gonna
was
lie.
No,
We'll
it
see.
didn't come up yet. I don't
CNN
think.
source did not
Damn it.
disclose
Maybe this
who was
isn't the
being
right one.
investigated for the
I just
extortion.
want to hear the part where he was
the
like,
interview with Tucker Carlson at times got uncomfortable.
Here we go,
with
yeah.
Gaetz suggesting that the talk show host had dinner with Gaetz and a woman who could be at the center of the investigation by the FBI
Hold
into
on.
Gaetz's conduct. Carlson said he did not remember the woman or the dinner.
I don't remember the woman you're speaking of or the context at all, honestly. But I would like to know who. So they're saying there is a 17-year-old girl who you had a relationship with. Is that true? And who are they? Who is this girl? What are they talking about? The New York Times.
The person doesn't exist. I have not had a relationship with a 17-year-old. That is totally false.
Even Carlson
Totally.
left the interview sounding confused.
You just saw our Matt Gaetz interview. That was one of the weirdest interviews
Damn
I've
it.
ever conducted.
Today, the most powerful Republican in the House.
I don't think they're gonna. It's
Minority
not, I
Leader
didn't
I know
find
we
the right
passed
clip.
it. It was like
No.
right at the
Allegations
beginning, yeah.
serious,
No, this is
but
like
said
where
he
they
was
clip it down. They clipped it down. I
possible
thought this
sex
was the actual
trafficking and
interview because when I pulled
prostitution,
it up, it showed the actual
including
interview. So, anyways,
allegations
listen.
involving a minor.
Pause.
All things
Hold on,
the
hold on.
Republicans strongly
It's coming up.
deny.
I know it is.
It is a horrible allegation, and it is a lie. The New York Times is running a story that I have traveled with a 17-year-old woman, and that is verifiably false. People can look at my travel records and see that that is not the case.
Instead, Gaetz
No.
claims he and
It's
his
not. So, anyways, so what happened in this interview? I'll try to find the video later and put it in the link or something like that.
We'll put it in Discord in the if you guys.
See
go
if
to
you
the
guys wanna watch
Discord,
it.
Yeah.
So he says, these are all fake. I'm being accused of something I didn't do. And he goes, you know, Tucker, you've been accused of the same thing. So you know how I feel. And Tucker Carlson is like,
Oh.
sir, 20 years ago, I was accused of sexual assault by a mentally deranged person who I've never been in contact with. They show no calls or emails or anything to us, linking us to people at all. And I don't know how you feel. And I'm like, Matt Gaetz, the fuck you tried to be like, listen,
know,
bro.
Right? Yeah. Look, we're
You're like me.
sexual assault homies, you know?
That's not how that works. And like, Tucker Carlson, I don't like the guy at all. I think he's a fuckhead. But the fact that he's like, who the fuck okayed this guy on my show? Like, he was like,
right? That was
he was so fucking confused as the words were coming out of his mouth. And you would think that Matt Gaetz, because he's watching a screen too that has his face on it. Like, they could both see each other, not just hear each other. You have to think that Matt Gaetz was like looking at the screen while this was coming out of his face, and he's seeing this. And he just keeps fucking going. He goes, you know how I feel? Like, you were there. And I'm like, dude, this guy is American fucking Psycho. He is the guy from American Psycho.
Hold on. Pull up American Psycho guy.
Oh, I can't with this guy. I hate him more than I hate Ted Cruz. I hate Ted Cruz a lot. He's a fucking roach in a human suit. Probably like this one right here, that one, and then him. Well, you have to go up to like where he was talking to Tucker Carlson.
His family are the victim,
we're
the
trying to get to
target of an extortion attempt.
Oh, so you guys have to listen to it.
All right, right there.
Everyone, pull it up.
Okay.
We'll talk about that Epstein thing real quick. Just let us do this real quick. So there's the guy from American Psycho.
Okay, like look at him. This is his face through like the whole fucking movie. Like he's just like
He has very American Psycho vibes.
Look at him.
So it's the hair. You got the hair, the little swoopy hair. You have the very defined jawline. I think they have the well. I guess
This is like a bad picture. Like when he's turned, he's like. There's so many people in his like inner circle or people that like even went to high school with him. They're like, I'm not surprised that he's being accused of
We
this.
might be reaching here a little much. Not gonna lie.
I'm just saying.
But it was funny at the time.
Tucker Carlson was Epstein's Island. Listen,
Epstein. Okay, so Epstein. That's
There's
something
so
we should
many
talk
people
about.
on that. I don't want to cover that until I've watched more and like read more.
Yeah.
The only one that like, speaking of conspiracy theories, what is his name?
Jeffrey Epstein.
No. Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Real name.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. It is so. It's such a coincidence that Tom Hanks was like.
You know how upsetting that is?
Yes, it's so upsetting. But it's like, he's like, well, I didn't know that he was friends with Epstein. And he would hang out with him. And as soon as that came out, like the log saying that Tom Hanks had been there, Tom Hanks gets on a fucking plane, gets a citizenship to fucking Greece, where they say they will not extradite anybody for sexual assault or like pedophilia charges, and that it's legal there or some shit.
It's something. I mean, I don't think it was legal there, but it was something.
It was like there's like a loophole, and I was so fucking sad about that. I was like, I can't look at anything he's ever done again the same.
Yeah. Chris Tucker, according to the logs, was at the fucking island frequently, which is super depressing. Yeah, Chris Tucker, I don't know. Yeah, I saw that Tom Hanks situation. He knew he was totally fucked. Yeah, he did. Unfortunately.
He knew what he was doing when he did it.
Yeah.
Like, if he wanted to move to Greece and he, like, bought a house there, like, whatever, he could have literally just traveled to Greece back and forth and nobody would have thought shit about it.
Yeah.
But the fact that he got fucking citizenship there and then his son's pulling that crazy ass shit. We talked about that last time. I won't bring it up again. His son's fucking wild. There are women linked to that, too. Like, Sia. The singer Sia. If you looked her up, you know who.
Okay. Sia
was linked to Epstein, and like she has a girl Maddie that dances for her in all of her music videos. She's young. Maddie was supposed to get on a plane with Epstein one time, and Sia was like, no, you ride with me, and like brought her with her personally. Was like, you don't go with him because bitch, she fucking knew.
Yeah.
There's so many, like, that's like the worst part is like women that helped him. He wasn't killed. I mean, he didn't kill himself. He was killed.
He didn't kill himself. He was killed.
He was killed. There's too many big players in this.
It was the whole Clinton thing. The Clintons had him killed.
That's what everybody says. The Clintons had him killed. I don't think it was a fucking Clintons. There was a lot of big fucking players. This is like Tony Soprano, like The Sopranos, the last episode where everybody's fucking killing everybody. Like, there's nothing left to lose. You're gonna cover your ass no matter fucking what.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so fucked.
I haven't looked into the whole story, but to my understanding,
There's so much.
He had some island where rich people, if they could pay enough, they could go to his island, and then they had kids there, I guess.
This is as bad as like
and
the fucking
they would pay
Nickelodeon
for
shit.
the kids. They pay Jeffrey Epstein in some way, and they can have sex with kids. I guess that's the basic. It's a pretty short version of footnotes.
Yeah, those are the footnotes. I haven't looked into it as much because I want to know who all has been linked to it, because they're just going to say everybody, because everybody talked to Epstein, which, it's one thing if you casually speak to him at an event. It's another thing where you guys are broing it up at a pool party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going on vacations together. It's just like, that's.
Where's this island at, anyway? What island is this?
Pull it up on my computer. I don't feel like using it. Little St. James, U.S. Virgin Islands.
Recently demolished his mansion on the island. Really?
Wow. I think somebody bought it. Hold on. Who owns Epstein? I guess nobody's bought it yet, but I assume it's up for sale now.
What did they do with the kids? The supposed kids that were there?
They didn't make them live there. They were trafficked in.
And then trafficked out?
Yeah.
But what,
listen, if he was smart enough to get away with this for so long with this many fucking players potentially in the fucking game, he wasn't stupid enough to keep kids in a cage in the bottom layer of that island.
Yeah.
Anybody could say anything. He had to make sure that, they came in and they went back out, live or dead.
But whenever he went to jail, what happened to the kids? What happened to the
I would
people that
assume he
worked
just
for him?
didn't have them sitting there. I don't think he was throwing breadcrumbs to kids in a dungeon lair at his house. I assumed he probably flew them in when he knew he was going to get the money and then sent them back out. But I also think he did it for blackmail reasons. I think he probably had famous people come to his house that you wouldn't think would do these things. Let's say Tom Hanks had him there, and he was like, I'm going to show you something. And then was like, if you tell, I'm going to include you in this. I think it was also a blackmail kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Was that
was
you?
my stomach. My belly's free.
Her stomach just screamed. The rumors say that each person on Epstein's list had a place to store their favorites when Epstein went down. That's pretty weird. If that's true,
I wonder where it is.
Super creepy.
There was a movie.
Here we go.
Watch a lot of.
You're talking about Harry Potter, the movie?
No, I watched a lot of indie movies, and there was a movie I watched. I'm pretty sure it was a Swedish movie or a German movie, and it was about this guy who stole a boy. And you didn't know the boy was stolen. It looked like it was his son for the longest time in the movie. It was this big door would open and you'd go into this kid's room and had tons of toys and bunk beds, and this dad would bring food in and feed the kid. Well, it turned out the guy stole the kid, put him in a bunker in his basement that he made look like a children's room, and then he would abuse the boy, okay? But nobody knew that room was down there because he had it hidden behind a bookshelf or whatever. Well, then he would go out of town for a couple days, or go away for a time, so he would leave food down there. He's like, I'll be back in a couple days, and he'd leave enough food for him. Well, he died. The guy died. And this boy was locked in the basement.
The boy die, I assume?
I assume that was the end of the movie.
Oh, what the fuck?
It was a roller coaster of emotions. It's kind of like Room. I think there's a movie on Netflix. It's either Netflix or Hulu. It's called Room. That's a wild movie. Go watch that one. I won't. That'll be spoilers. Nobody's gonna find this Swedish movie.
Oh shit! I didn't see that ending coming, and now I feel bad for laughing.
Right? I was like, no.
What was that one movie we watched? Whenever the people they were in that room by themselves, and they were stuck in the platforms, and they had to
Circle.
Was it called The Circle?
I think it was called
or
The Circle.
Or just Circle?
Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up.
So there's this movie. I'm not gonna ruin it too much because if you guys watch it, don't want to ruin too much. But this was it was a good movie because it was all shot in one room, and these people, it was like these people had to like figure shit out. Damn it.
That was called The Circle. Went outside the circle.
But it was like a super like. Okay, so Circle is a 2015 American science fiction psychological horror thriller film written and directed by Aaron Han and Mario Missione. The ensemble cast, I don't care about the cast. Give me the damn.
Yep, it's still on Netflix.
Netflix. All right, there it is. It's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix, so you can watch that tonight. Definitely a good recommendation.
Wait a second. Is that Emma Watson? Tom Hanks? They weren't in this movie.
No, they weren't in this. It's right here. It's Circle.
It's called Circle.
Circle. You might be
And this
looking
is
at-
The Circle.
Oh, that's
okay.
a different one.
Okay.
But no, the movie on Netflix is called Circle.
Just Circle.
It is it's an hour and a half long. Great movie.
Yep.
After watching this, I made you watch The Cube.
Yeah, it's kind of similar.
Kind of like
to
the same
Cube.
idea. It's like a mind fuck. There was another movie I watched that's like the same premise as that. So
My girlfriend and I are trying that new animated superhero TV show on Amazon Prime. What is it called?
you have to tell us what it is. Oh, The Platform. There's another movie on Netflix called The Platform that's like the same premise as all the movies we listed. Circle,
The
Cube, The Platform. Platform, 10 out of 10. Loved it. Platform's on Netflix.
Look up Invincible on Amazon Prime. What is it like?
They like make up their own superheroes? Is that what it is? It's like they're superheroes?
It's not a movie. He said it's a series. It's supposed to be like the Harley Quinn series. Okay.
Oh, right here. Okay.
Yeah, it's
No,
animated.
there
He said it's
used
animated.
Okay, never mind. There used to be a TV show that was like you like created your own superhero.
Click on it. See what the description says. Supposed to be an adult animated show, super gory and dark humor. Oh hell yeah!
Old Mark age, except his father was the most powerful superhero on the planet. Omni-Man. Omni-Man? Omni-Man. No, I'm the man. But as Mark develops powers of his own, he discovers his father's legacy may not be as heroic as it seems.
Oh boy, what is it? 4? Oh shit, 4.5 stars out of almost 5.
I bet you would like that.
Yeah.
I'm bad
to
at
watch
like I'm bad at stuff like that.
Yeah, she's not too much into the animated stuff. I don't go so much as like how's it called?
I have a problem where my stomach's making the craziest noises.
It is. It's like
It's because I
howling.
don't feel good. Like I'm nauseous as hell right now. Fun side effect of migraines, guys. Constant nausea. I have an obsession with horror and post-apocalyptic movies. As long as they have those two factors, I'm down. Like that's it. That's all I ever want to watch. And he hates it. He hates it
I don't
so much.
hate it.
He like
It's just
he had asked me to sit down and watch all the Iron Mans with him. He's like, "Can we please watch all of the Iron Mans?" I was like, "All right." And it's not that I don't enjoy them. It's just not something I would personally choose.
yeah.
I enjoy them if somebody asks me to watch them. I will definitely sit and watch a movie. But if I get to pick, I'm picking horror or post-apocalyptic.
Hell yeah. See?
There's a movie, and I can't remember what the name of it is. I keep bringing up movies. I'm like, I love movies. It's a post-apocalyptic movie, and if you watch some Marvel, that sounds like one hell of a night.
He gets it.
We literally didn't
gets
move
it.
off the couch one day.
Yeah, we
We have 2 children, and
Yeah.
we didn't move off our couch for like a whole day because we were just watching Iron Man. And the only reason he knew he could sucker me into is because Mickey Rourke was in the one, and I fucking have the hugest lady boner for Mickey Rourke. Like, listen, if you ever want to judge me as a person, just know that if you're like 20-something and coming at me, bye.
No.
It ain't gonna happen. Like, elderly. I got some deep-rooted daddy issues, guys. Like, I need some salt and pepper hair. I need some hair falling out. I need some wrinkles. I have a problem.
I'm only a year older than she is, so it kind of works out.
So, anyways, there is a movie, and if somebody can find it for me, because I've like searched this general description I can on Google to find it. So it's a post-apocalyptic movie where they literally walled up part of the world because it was like something crazy was happening. They just literally built a wall to keep all the craziness in there, and then everybody was like kind of doing their thing outside. This lady who was like a cop, but she lost her eyeball. She had like a electronic eyeball that she could like take out and like use it to like survey shit.
You should like put it down on the ground and have like a little remote control.
Yeah.
Are you serious? I just
basically.
made that up.
No, like it was something like that. Like she would
That's
throw her
hilarious.
eyeball into a room and then she could see what was happening. So then she infiltrates to try to find something. And I don't know exactly what it is, but basically everybody's cannibals. Like there's no food anymore on that side of the wall. So they're like these steampunk fucking guys and they're like eating people. And I don't know what the fucking name of the movie was. And I remember seeing this fever dream that I had, but I have a lot of fever dreams. Like, you remember when I came up with that movie, I was like fucking losing my shit, where it's like how hackers can hack your cameras and like everybody has their phone or a computer with them at all times. And so here your camera's always on and like you're doing shit like picking your nose or like being naked.
Sounds like an on. Is that what it is? Oh, she's looking at that. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh
No. Anon.
No, it wasn't a 2018.
It was not a 2018 movie,
No,
she says.
It says 2018. It was not from 2018. This was from a while ago. So everybody has their phone, and like there's like these things I've heard where like people on like the dark web or like the dark net or whatever like can hack your IP address and like get your cameras turned on. They can watch you, and then they'll tell you that they're watching you just to see your reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So what if?
I wonder if everybody's watching us right now.
Oh no, there's nobody watching us right now. Anyways, this was like the premise I had for a movie is like where everybody's cameras are on all the time, and these people on the dark web have hacked our cameras and basically made like a series out of us. Like, you know how we talk about how there's popular like people on OnlyFans that like everybody likes to watch, or like your favorite influencer on Instagram. Well, what if these people have hacked all of the cameras in their home and have started making like a live stream of those people, but the only way you can watch it is if you are also in the dark web and you are able to get the link to it. So you are a normal person like me, but on the dark web, I could potentially be famous because like I take my phone in the bathroom with me, or like I play with my phone a lot, and like people think I'm popular, and people are like selling my links, like my IP address, so they can like see me more. So I was like, that would be a wild fucking movie, right? Where it's like all these people that like know who these other people are and is like, hey, did you check blah blah blah's show out last night?
We should explain something new about the dark net, the dark web. It's just the internet.
I know
Just
this.
the
I
internet.
know this. But no, but I'm just
Just
saying,
not indexed
wouldn't
by
that be a
major search
fucking
engines,
wild
so.
movie though?
It does sound like it'd be pretty interesting if you can like lay it out the right way.
Nobody steal that. I listen, you heard it here first. Don't fucking steal my idea. Damn it, I just put it out into the universe.
Yes,
Fuck.
you did. Now somebody's gonna steal that shit.
I don't get credited for this, just so you know. You'll see me.
Well, she's watched enough Judge Judy to know.
I got a lawyer on retainer.
Do you really?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
do.
think you can-
It's called my uncle, and
I
I can
don't-
just call him and be like,
I
"These
don't think you
people
can-
on the internet stole my idea.
I don't
Help me!"
think- I don't think you can afford it. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, he better help me. I helped him get pussy.
This is true. You did.
My uncle was in law school, and he was in law school in close to my family. And so when I was very young, when I was like 3, he bought me a cheerleading outfit from the college he was going to, and he had like this really fancy red sports car that like it was a convertible, and he would come and pick me up on the weekends, and he would drive me to his college and sit me out in front of like the dorms on top of his sports car in this little fucking cheerleading costume, feeding me snacks, and girls would be like, "Oh my god." who's baby? And he'd be like, oh, this is my niece. I go up every weekend and I get her, and we have uncle and me time, and like I buy her food and I get her clothes and I give her mom and dad money because my family was really fucking poor. But it was like, I remember this now as an adult, and my mother kept that outfit, and she was like, do you want this? I'm like, fuck no, I don't want that. And I brought it up last time I saw him. I was like, hey, remember that time I helped you like get pussy in like college? He's like, shh, don't talk. He's like, I don't need my wife to know. But no, my uncle is really cool. Like, even though he's wild as shit, he's really cool. He was always like super chill, especially back then. That's the only thing I remember, is that he was like, even my uncles that were in my life all the time, they were like ridiculous, and like he was like my cool uncle that like I only saw once in a great while. Duh, because he bought me candy and clothes, and my parents were poor.
The movie be Doomsday from 2008. Here we are. We're gonna check it out right now. No, yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have to search for it. Yeah, there you go. He's typed in Doomsday and got a Marvel character.
This might. Yep, that's it. It's Doomsday.
Ding 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 ding.
Fire
ding,
movie.
ding, ding.
Now I
There
gotta
it
see if
is.
it's on. Where can I watch Doomsday? Watch. Let's see where it's streamed. Did you like literally just type in like all the vague information I gave you?
I know I could find that. Hell yeah, man! I owned it.
Fuck you.
What's it on?
I have to pay everywhere. It's on iTunes. I have to pay Apple, Amazon Prime, Vudu, Google
Amazon
Play.
Prime, you don't have to pay for it.
It's $3.99 on Amazon Prime, which
But no,
it's not a free movie.
What
That's
the hell
what
do
it
we
means.
pay for Amazon Prime for?
Not every movie on Amazon Prime is free.
Just go to it and see if you can find it.
Like, it's not. Can you shut the fuck up?
Yeah, her stomach's making crazy noises.
Nope, $3.99.
Bitch. Okay, well, that's cool.
It's a good movie though. Love that shit. Oh no, we've been going for like almost 2 hours and 40 minutes. We said we wouldn't pass like 2 hours again last time.
Well, this was a good one, so it's
We
fine.
got off on topic a couple times. More than once.
We gotta stop
Do
that.
you remember when you used to, with the like 2 times you gamed and I did my makeup while you gamed?
That was fun.
I would like definitely consider doing it here because I have good lighting, but also I don't think I can talk and do my makeup at the same time.
Why not?
That's hard. Fuck up my eyebrow. My already fucked up eyebrows. I don't know. I'll do your makeup.
I think no. I was gonna say I think one day you should let me do your makeup, and then you get on stream with.
We talked about doing face masks. Where'd the face mask
We
go?
did. I put it in there. It's
Damn,
only
I'm so
one.
pissed. We gotta go get some. So I want to do face masks. I literally want to wear like a moisturizing face mask the whole time we stream.
The whole time?
Yeah.
The whole time?
Yep.
What the hell?
We're gonna do a skincare routine while we're talking through shit.
No, skincare routine is different.
And then we have an Asian food mart out here, which is like amazing.
good,
They
yeah,
have like
very
the
good.
best fucking cup of noodles. Like they have every noodle you can think of, everything. I bought octopus hot dogs. Like I know I can make them myself. I just take a hot dog and I slice them and like I can make it look like a. But they have like ones in a packet where you just like take it. It's a sausage and it has like a little smiley face cut into it already, and you put it in your ramen while it's like cooking, and like the legs spread out and it's just ready to go. It's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Anyways, we've been talking about going there to get like candies and like snacks from there because we do that a lot with our children. We're just like pick something.
Hmm.
And I told him that we should go there and get a bunch of like snacks that like we don't know what they are. Like not our usual snacks that we would get from there, and just buy a bunch of them and just sit here and just like eat them, like taste test them on stream while we're bullshitting.
That might be kind of fun.
They also have really fun face masks over there as well. And they have like the Asian skincare products, like it's like the face massagers that go like it's like on a handle and it's like 2 balls on the end, and you're supposed to go like this to like sculpt your face.
I don't know. I'm just, whatever.
I don't know. That's just funny. But maybe we'll do that next time. I want to do something else besides just sit here.
I enjoy just sitting here and talking to you.
Like, oh, that's the handle. Oh my god. I could see everything's backwards, so I could see this red handle, and I was trying to I'm like going this way trying to figure out what the red mark was on the screen. Listen, I'm tired. My head hurts. I want to take my eyelashes off. Because we hit most of our points. Well, actually, we hit all of our points.
We hit all of our points. That was it. That was all we had on the board for tonight. We had funny or interesting conspiracy theories.
We hit a couple.
I got 2 of them. Interesting ones. Not necessarily funny, but...
We shared a little bit of DMX's funeral, which is probably our video.
Also, you spelled funeral wrong. It says funeral.
Oh, shut up. I didn't mean to. I was trying to write shit while Dean was up here. Shut up.
Scott Peterson death sentence overturned. We talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And the Gaetz scandal and the
/ American Psycho.
American Psycho, similarities.
Yep.
Physically.
We're going to go watch American Psycho.
Eventually.
No, either tonight or tomorrow. We're watching American
not tonight.
Psycho.
I'm not watching shit tonight. It's
Well,
11 o'clock here.
I gotta wash my face and have a snack and take my medicine. Here's your happy reminder. Please take your meds tonight. If you haven't taken your meds, birth control, mental health medications, take them because it's important. Also, girls like guys who have vasectomy.
Just get the vasectomy, bro.
It's reversible.
Reversible. Don't worry about shit.
So, hashtag just saying, take your birth control, take your psychosis medications, and get a vasectomy. That's all I have for the rest of the night. I'm tired. I want to take my eyelashes off.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll end it here. It's a good stream. I'd just like to thank Jackson. He's always here, having a good time, talking about fun shit.
Regular.
I'd like to say a big thank you to S. O'Brien Games. Thanks for joining us, man.
Oh,
it was fun.
We had one more. Scroll back up.
And
in
then,
the orange. It was we had
2 more, but that guy just said it one time. But hey,
Mikoto.
Hopefully we said it right. I know you're not here
7 pounds.
anymore.
Thanks for helping me with that one. I'm just
That
over
was
here
a
with
good one.
fucking movies.
And then the raid from...
LOL, you crazy bro.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you, S. O'Brien Games, again for following. We do this podcast every Saturday at 8:30 Central Standard Time. So
we used to stream Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. That's too hard
too much
with work and children.
Yeah.
So we're realistic. So on Saturdays, we're on here for 2 to 3 hours, and we try to come up with a couple topics. So if you have any ideas or something you would like us to throw in there, throw it in the chat, or this will be put up on YouTube in a couple days. So the link should be in the bio on here. So
you can join the Discord as well. Yeah, we have a Discord as well. You can get on there, and
there's links to our videos, so you can watch the old ones, see what we are doing, and just throw in the comments there what you'd like us to bitch about.
Or you can just talk to us. I mean, we both have the Discord. We both have.
I'm bad at Discord, so
that's fine.
Sorry. I tried.
Well, it's because we don't nobody interacts a whole lot. But once you get more people interacting,
I'm that person that deleted all social media, everything. I only have an Instagram, and I barely use that.
You'll see us on. You'll see me on most nights for about an hour.
He gets
maybe
on
hour and
Twitch.
a half. Yeah.
And once in a great while, you'll see me laying right around. Nope, right over. Nope, that side. Nope, this side. Dang it.
It's this side. Just point at the side.
I don't. Sorry, this side. I was trying to look in the thing. On this side, sleeping.
Yeah, she'll be behind me sleeping usually. But I get on there and I play Destiny 2. That's really what I play. Unless other people want something else. Nobody said anything.
Brain entered the Discord.
Oh shit. Brain. What?
So S.O. O'Brien Games.
Oh shit.
But
Hell yeah,
no, it was a movie called Igor, and the guy didn't know how to spell brain, so he accidentally spelled Brian. Brain.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, Brian. And they're like, it's brain.
Wow.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But yeah, I play Destiny 2 mainly, and it's only for an hour or so until I find a game that I really enjoy.
But no, that's it. So let us know
Thank
if you guys
guys.
want to talk about anything. We'll be
Yep.
back on next Saturday, 8:30/9 o'clock. If we're a little bit late, it's not because of us. It's either technical difficulties or our children are sucking. Have a good night.
Have a good one.
We will see
Thanks
you
for
all on
watching.
Saturday.